everyone, welcome to Babies with Knives. Today we're going to be doing a game of Scum and Villainy. I'm your host and GM for the day, Alice Peng, aka Lala Twiddle. Below me is Brandon Powers, my ever-present co-host.
Howdy, howdy, everybody. Salutations and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. We're going to be playing Scum and Villainy, like Al said. I'm going to be playing Stonewall, the pilot.
Awesome. And over up on the next column at the top, we have no face there, but that is our friend Jesse, who has not been on BWK in quite some time. Hey, Jesse.
Hello, and I will be playing a scoundrel for this game. It'll be interesting.
Cool. And below him, we have Kevin Scarth.
Hey everyone, always happy to hang out with you guys. Today I'll be playing Kane. He is the group's muscle.
Okay. And last but certainly not least, we have Crystal Frazier of Green Ronin Games, and she's going to be joining us today. Hi, Crystal.
Hi, everybody. And I'll be playing Jules, and my job here is to keep this here horse a-kicking.
Awesome. I am looking forward to getting started. So we just made our very first group. We made the crew, we made the ship. That was all off air. And at this point, we're going to be talking about a few details. So first off, we're going to be talking about your first job. And the first job that you guys are going to be working on is going to be for the Cobalt Syndicate. But before we get to that, I have a few questions for each of you as players. So let's start with Crystal. Jules, in your history, you mentioned a few things, so I wanted to go over them. What were the harsh truths that you discovered about that changed your idyllic perceptions of the Empire?
Oh. I knew I should have thought this out, but I wasn't sure if you were going to use the full setting or go with something more generic or tie it into a TV show. So I left it intentionally vague.
I wanted to let you guys have reins on it a little bit so that I could have, play with that. While you think about that one, yes. I'll go to another one for you first then. You mentioned that you were in the Imperial world for a very long time. So do you still have someone near and dear to you in the Imperial world? And who is it? And how did they feel about your betrayal?
Oh, geez, my whole family's still back there. And it's, well, let's just say it was a tense family reunion last time, and I barely made it out alive. Daddy ain't too pleased, and my brother still serves.
Ooh, okay. Your brother still serves. That's great. That's great information. So I'll let you think about your idyllic perception changes while I move on to another person then. And I'll come back to you right after that. So Kane, I'm going to go to you next. So did you kill your lieutenant accidentally or on purpose to save the lives of your unit?
No, I fragged that SOB because he was an idiot.
Okay, on purpose.
See Stan here, this gun?
Mm-hmm.
I took it off him to remind what needed to be done.
Okay, you did it on purpose. How does the rest of your unit feel about your actions?
Don't know, don't care.
Don't know, don't care. Okay. Whew. Don't know, don't care. And
I'm assuming they're happy we're still alive because that idiot wasn't leading us. Of course, Brass didn't see it that way.
And given your interesting history, how were you recruited onto the Adamant venture?
Well, I ran into Jethro and I served together for a while. He had caught me cornered, and Jethro kind of threw him off. And so I had nothing better to do. Figured good a place as any. Dry place to sleep. And sometimes you guys, end up needing my help.
Okay. So Jethro was who brought you. Next, we're going to jump into Brandon. Actually, before that, Crystal, do you have an answer for me?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, my whole life, Pappy and Ma and Grandpa, everybody had taught me that the hegemony's here to build new opportunities. They're protecting us. They're pushing humanity out to the outer limits of this of God's creation. And I mean, when I got out there to the outer limits, there's people already there, and we was pushing them off, and not too friendly neither.
Okay, cool. Very reminiscent to me of She-Ra and the Horde.
Who calls us the evil horde?
Yeah, who calls us the evil horde?
Everyone.
Very reminiscent of that, it seems. Awesome. Okay. Moving on, we're going to go to Brandon. Brandon, I apparently don't have your character's name.
Oh, Stonewall.
Oh, Stonewall. There we go. Thank you.
I come from a long line of Stonewalls, founded by the great-great-great-grandpappy himself, Thaddeus.
Okay. Stonewall, do you owe the gangs from your past anything? If so, what and why?
Oh, probably. I owe him my hide. At least that's the way that they tell it. I got out of there as soon as I could, and by all means, there's still debts to be paid. But my thinking is they've got more of a debt to me and the rest of the people that are living back on that planet than I do to them.
Then what planet did you see yourself being from? Are you going to be from the system that we are starting in, or are you going to be from a different system?
I've gotten, I don't really care. I've tried to get as far away as I can, but by all means, I've proved my piloting skills based on natural instincts with it. But I don't know if I've gotten too far. Up to you if whether I'm from there or not. I ain't quite human. I come in at about 3 foot some, and so I've got some assistive devices that help me reach the pedals at times.
Okay. This ship being your baby, other than the engineers, obviously, but you're the pilot. There's a secret only you know about the ship. What is it?
Well, I know where I keep me crackers. Better nobody be getting into those. They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Okay, somewhere you keep your crackers. Got it. A little. Okay.
I got little snacky bolt holes all over the place.
I'd like to think we have a nice relationship where I keep trying to help you build more assistive devices, and like half the time they're helpful, and half the time they go terribly wrong.
And maybe
he'll share. Beautiful.
Maybe he'll share his cookies with you because of that.
That's why I keep building them.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay. And Jethro, let's go to you. Where are the rest of your siblings now? You mentioned that you're the middle of 10 children. And do you stay in touch with any of them?
Most, I reckon they're off back on the farm where we grew up. Never made contact with them after my military service.
Oh, okay. And so are you loyal to the ones that saved your life in the military?
Well, as loyal as one can be. I got one friend I rescued out of a hot spot, and after that, haven't run into any other ones. I don't even know if they're still alive.
Well, you just partially answered my follow-up question to that. Who is that one person?
Oh, that there would be Kane. Something you got to know about Kane, though, is sometimes he can't make the right decisions. His moral compass ain't all there, so I think I like to say I help him a little bit in keeping himself out of a hot spot or two.
Okay. So Kane is being referencing Kevin's character. Cool. That answers how two of you met each other. And the last thing I wanted to go around and just find out is, how did each of you meet? So we know how Kane and Jethro met. What about Brandon? Why don't we go to you? How did you and Crystal meet? How did you and Jules meet?
I stowed away on her ship at one point, and she found me in the hold snacking on things that I wasn't supposed to be. But eventually, after the ship got into a bit of trouble, pilot was fragged and all that, they needed somebody to step up, and they pushed me into it. I brought a big stick to push the pedals, and they found out that I was pretty good with it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say that was the last case of Happy Cakes that I know of in the universe. After they discontinued them, after all them kids went blind,
maybe that's why
he's saving them.
Maybe that's why he's all stunted in his growth at 3 foot some.
I'm 3'3". That's a full 1.5 inches bigger than my brothers.
Okay. They all ate that cookie. Crystal, how did you meet Kane? Actually, how did you meet Jethro? Because we'll go with that.
I'm gonna say Jules met Jethro in a bar where a very heated argument about condenser coils ended up being interrupted by an enormous man who looked like he was about to kill me for disagreeing with Jethro.
And it interrupted my poker game. Gosh darn it.
And
I can't stand nothing worse than my poker game being interrupted, especially when I got a winning hand.
and at that point is when you would have met Kane, because he would have
That's what I mean.
interceded.
Kane came in to.
Kane was the big guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kane was
okay.
the
I
big
thought
guy.
the big guy was threatening
Because
him.
we.
Okay.
No.
You were Chewie to his Han.
Okay. Cool.
Awesome. So that's
no.
how. Go ahead. Sorry.
Chewie's much too nice to be describing Kane.
What?
Dang, damn it. Can't you take care of that over there for me
So the next
before
thing,
you ruin this whole game?
so the next thing we want to talk about a little bit before we go directly into free play is what system. We have 4 default systems that we would be running with, or we could talk about you guys being in a out of a video, out of a TV show or something. We could be in the Firefly universe and give me a system. But we do have 4 default systems based on what you guys visualize, how the environment that you guys will be operating in. So, for example, if you guys choose Breck is high crime and high syndicate power. It's a really dirt poor system. Everyone is, below the impoverished line. The tech level is pretty low because everyone's really poor. And the weird level is a little bit on the low side. We can get into weird. We don't have a mystic, and there's some other that we don't need to get into that. If you guys choose, let's say I'm going to go to the other side of that. Rin, for example, actually, let's go to Holt. If you guys choose Holt, Holt has 2 dots in wealth. It has 2 out of 3 dots in syndicate. It has 2 out of 3 dots in tech level, and it has 3 dots in weird. So it's a much more balanced off place on that. If you're looking at going to Mem in Holt. So there's and then if in Holt, there's also Voss, which is super wealthy with no crime syndicate. So what do you guys envision you guys being in the system like? High crime, high tech, low crime, high tech. Really rich that you guys can, go and scam people easily.
Not that one. Other 2 fine.
Yeah, we don't have a face.
Okay.
We are not a subtle crew.
Nope.
As discussed earlier.
So, any leanings?
Oh, the dirt poor one sounds about right for us. We don't swing that. We might be ambitious, but we can't hang out with the best of them.
Sure. So at that point, I'm going to say we're going to start you guys off in the system of Breck, and you guys will be on the planet of Aketi, Aketi. You guys it's going to be dirt poor, and crime and the crime syndicate is very powerful here. They are everywhere. Okay? And at that point, we go into our job. So for the very first job, the Cobalt Syndicate, which you happen to be in a syndicate-run planet, is looking for a crew willing to acquire them a prototype for Starsmith's guild ship. This is, it sounds like it's right up your alley since you guys are ambitious, right? So this is no ordinary vessel, as it's been being built on a hunk of rock away from the usual hyperspace lanes. So, question for you guys. As we go in, this is when we go into free play. So what do you guys think is so special about the ship?
Transwarp drive.
It's got a transwarp drive. Okay. That's one note to transwarp drive. And
it has neo-silicate condensers, which
Ooh.
I gotta tell you are a lot better than the old silicone condensers. I gotta replace them every 3 weeks.
Neo what? Neo-silicate?
Neo-silicate.
Okay. Condensers? Awesome.
Nobody thinks about maintenance issues until it's their turn to swap out the condensers.
So who is going to be guarding this site? That you're told. You're told, based on your recon, what do you guys think is going to be guarding this site?
Oh man, it's high-end corporate security.
Yeah, I was going to say it's some kind of merc unit they've hired.
High-end merc unit.
Pink water.
We'll call them the Star Wolves.
Star Wolves. Okay, Star Wolves. Nobody wants to mess with the Star Wolves. So my question on that then, who's building the ship then? If it's not the Imperial, or is it the Imperial and they're just hiring outside guns?
I think it's a corporate contract for the Imperials, which is why they are hiring outside contractors to guard.
Okay, corporate or Imperials.
Mhm.
Cool.
Probably a military research firm because they're hiring contractors instead of,
Okay, and at this point, we go into you guys planning. And you guys also need to tell me, during this plan, how you plan to get away with the ship. So,
We fly it out of there, clearly.
fly it out of there. Okay?
We're
Fly it
setting
out
up. We're setting up diversions to distract the pursuers before they get in their ships.
Now, if that transwarp drive's online,
Well, if not, you could bring it online, right?
well, there is a decent chance we will all lose our hair in the event horizon, but hair regrows.
Okay.
Air regrows. Okay? Cool. So,
Y'all can regrow limbs, right?
We'll probably need to shut down their security systems.
So, like in the TV show Hustle or Leverage or stuff like that, you guys can basically start acting out a possibility with me, and you guys can start talking to me about that through free play before we cut to the action of what actually goes on. So, lay out the scene for me of what you guys picture it to look like on this hunk of rock, and we'll find out how it is in comparison to reality.
Oh, it's a beautiful shipyard out in uncharted space that the corporation has laid their claim on. They've got gun platforms protecting it, and you got to have codes to get on in without them blowing you out of the sky.
And do you see it as being on asteroids, or do you guys see it on moons? What?
That's no moon.
That's no moon. It's a large asteroid.
I think it's a space dry dock orbiting one of the asteroids.
Space dry dock. Okay, space dry dock.
The gun platforms is scary, but what you really got to watch out for are the EMP satellites. You get too close, they will jam up your systems, and you're flying blind.
Okay.
You can practice that though if you close your eyes while you're flying.
Son, how often do you close your eyes while flying?
Am I awake or am I asleep at the time?
I will be building you a new device for our next trip.
Why do I picture it as something to keep his eyes open with?
It's just little
Clockwork
claws.
orange,
Yeah, exactly, claws.
stuff.
I just assumed
Mojo.
it's gonna be sunglasses with eyes painted on them.
All those work. Okay. Well, now we know how Brandon deals with autopilot.
Well, when you bounce off of something, it wakes you up.
How many enemies do you guys expect to encounter? What are the forces here? You guys said that it's a corporate security, Star Wolves, but is it going to be like a small contingent? It's going to be a huge contingent.
I think it costs a fortune to hire a ton of Star Wolves, so they probably got a small contingent.
I was thinking a typical platoon.
Darn it. The more of them that you get, the worse they are at aiming.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think you're counting on secrecy plus automated defenses to really keep this off everyone's radar.
Okay. And let's see. So you guys think you guys have a pretty strong plan? You guys want to move forward with the action?
Okay, wait. No, we don't have a plan at all. We just know what the opposition is.
We don't need one. We have flashbacks.
And luck.
Well, you guys can take a few moments to hash out a plan. I will listen, and I will not use it against you as the evil GM. Well, go, Crystal.
We've got them regularly. We know the algorithms they use to update the security transponders.
Mm-hmm.
We can hopefully use that to slip by the automated defenses.
Actually,
on a
my
ship-
character has access to. I think. Let me double check. But I thought I have papers on my character.
You have papers.
I have papers. I have forged documents.
Ooh, forged documents. Okay.
I don't know if I could use that for this.
You tell me.
I believe I can.
Okay.
My
You can try. It's always a you can
Okay.
try.
I can
Even if
try
it
to
only
use
works
them.
a minute, I can. If you can get us into their systems, I can open up a back channel.
As for getting in, I don't think we take the venture. If I pulled up in that ship and I was guarding that thing, set all my alarm bells off. We got to come in and something they're expecting, be it a cargo drop off or a.
It's the flame Jabba painted on the side, ain't it?
Well,
Well,
I
they
believe
need.
that I believe Jules was saying that a lot of those defenses are automated. If we could get some sort of footprint magnification system that she might be able to rig up. I also have an old friend that might be able to help us with that too, to get it so that we scan as a different type, something that they are expecting. If it's mostly automated, they probably
No.
won't lay eyes on us landing.
That'll work. That'll work too.
So you want to go hit Triv up, huh?
By all means, Triv and I go way back.
And I love the flaming Jabba. One of the nicest things about this ship.
The flaming Java. Okay.
I thought you said Jabba.
Oh no, job, the flame job.
I was picturing a flaming Jabba was painted on the side of the ship, and I was pretty
You know,
excited about that.
No, it's like
It's a-
Jabba the Hutt in a bikini and like flames shooting off.
Why? Yeah, I pictured him like a chopper bike, like.
Okay, now
No, I
that
like the
that's
idea that instead of like a girl painted on the side of our ship, it's just a fat slug man.
Well, let's put him on the chain, and then we can have, the Leia in her normal getup with the chain and such, and so
No,
he's
it has
like her little doggy.
it has to be the corgi holding onto the chain at that point. I mean,
The
the
corgi.
ship's named after a corgi. It has to be a corgi holding onto the chain. This is turning
What?
into a bad.
Riding a flaming bike, dragging him along by the chain behind.
There you go. We have the image of what is on the hull of the ship, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll expect fan art.
You heard that from Crystal, guys. She expects fan art.
I'll draw you some, but you probably wouldn't like my drawings.
I work mostly in stick figures.
Aye, you and I have studied under the same masters, Kane.
Okay, let's go into action then. So first off, I heard that you guys would like to go and hit up some of your contacts. So first person who wants to hit up one of their contacts and get some stuff set up, talk to me. You guys are on Mem.
We're on what? I thought we were on Aketi.
You are. Oh, sorry. You guys are on Aketi. I jumped pages by accident. You guys are on Aketi, yes. And so you guys, this is a place that's heavily armed guards patrolling the tall walls of base camp all the time. The place, the place looks like, it's pretty legit from the outside for anyone who doesn't know Aketi, but if you know it, you know that basically crime runs everything. All the military, all the police here, they're all crooked. Everything's run by the smugglers and the syndicates, and you guys are being hired by a syndicate. Go and grab them something. So, I heard Brandon would like to find Triv, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, if we can use her shipyard or whatever, her mechanics bay to work on that footprint magnification system. I bet Jewel is going to be the best one for the job, but I figured that she might be able to help.
Okay. So, Triv runs a small little shop in what's kind of the black market area of Aketi. She keeps kind of a low profile and does a lot of chop jobs, given the types of work that's around here. She works for the syndicate with doing a lot of chop jobs. So you come in and one of the reasons you get along with her is she's kind of a diminutive girl. She's a little bit short, but she's not quite as short as you. She's only 4'9".
Mm.
And she greets
She
you.
doesn't have the hidden blood that I do.
No, she doesn't. So she sees Stonewall and she runs up and she's still got the flaming torch in her hand that she was chopping up one of the machines with, and it's still on fire. And she seems kind of half, kind of forgets about it being in her hand, and she starts running up to you for a big hug. Stonewall, Stonewall, is that really you? I thought you were out of the system. And the
I've
flaming
been
torch is
trying,
still
I've
in her
been
hand, and she
trying,
tries to
but,
hug you.
every time I think that I get out, they pull me back in.
And she whispers into your ear, "Well, that's Cobalt Syndicate for you." And you're kind of dodging that flaming torch as she's hugging you, absentmindedly forgetting that it's still on.
Just gonna click that safety valve off over on the other side of the room.
Click.
We need our pilot.
Triv,
I can only build so many replacement limbs.
Triv, I'd love for you to meet a very good friend of mine. Her name is Jewel, and I think that we have an interesting thing that we might be able to work on with you.
Howdy.
Oh.
Name's Jewel. People call me, or I'm a big fan of fire safety.
She looks at you and she says, "Stonewall, did you replace me? I'm hurt. I'm hurt."
Well, it's more that the ship that I got on to get out of here was, she was part of it. So since then, we've kind of been, together. She fixes it and I break it.
Barman owes me a fortune in snack cakes.
Triv pulls down her little visor goggles, and she kind of ties her hair back a little tighter, and then she starts studying you, like as if she's expecting to find machinery on you. Huh. How's she connected to the ship? Some sort of next-gen AI? She starts poking you on your forehead.
Psychic controls and all that. She's a wizard, Triv.
Well, where do I buy one? Knock, knock, knock.
They're
knock,
not
knock.
for sale.
Oh,
and they get kind of testy when you say that they might be.
Oh, I get it. Wink.
Look,
She winks at you. So,
I'll tell you what. You let us use your facilities here for a few dry dock modifications. I will rig you up the exact same affair I used to bond with my ship.
Oh. She thinks about it a bit and she taps her foot, and then she starts scurrying around looking at her thing. She goes, All right, I trust. All right. I trust Stonewall. You have your deal. A deal, Miss Android.
No, her name is Jewel, not Droid.
You know what? She lives in a more interesting world than the rest of us. Let her have it.
And she starts going about, and she lets you guys pull in. Every so often, she lets you guys pull in. And she goes about her business again, chopping up ships. Every so often, she moves towards your ship and starts trying to chop it before you guys have to push her off and go, "No, not this ship." She's a little absent-minded.
Get out of here!
Sorry, wrong ship. These eyes, they just don't see the way they used to. And she's like, clears her goggles a bit, takes her rag and starts to wipe away her goggles. So why don't you roll me some checks now to upgrade what you are looking to upgrade?
Yeah, you got to watch her, Jewel. She's nearsighted, she's farsighted, she's light-sighted, she's night-sighted. But once she starts feeling around in your naughty bits on your ship, she gets it right. Alright, what the heck are we rolling?
If she wants to feel around in my naughty bits on the ship, she's more than welcome to, but we have to discuss that beforehand.
So, Pilot, why don't you roll me consort to see how long she's willing to give you time, if she's going to give you guys enough time to work on it. And mechanic.
I've got none.
Okay, well, let's see if the mechanic can do it fast enough. Why don't you roll me your dice anyway? You get one die, and you can take stress to roll more.
It's gonna. Are you telling me or?
Starting with Brandon. Actually, Jules, you were assisting him, so if you'd like, you can spend a stress to give him an extra die on this. We're going to determine the total amount of time she's going to let you guys stay in her place of business, because she's got ships to chop. and then we're going to see how long it'll take for you to do what you're doing, and you can tell me what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll spend that stress to assist.
Sure. Brandon, you're going to get an extra
Feels like
die.
I'm helping.
So is that 1 die that I've got?
You've got 2 dice because you'll default to 1 die. Or actually, I'm sorry, you don't have any resolve.
Nope.
Okay, so
Or
yeah,
any
you get 1 die
support.
now. Cool. I thought you actually had 1. I apologize. So
No, I've got nothing in resolve.
okay, so you can roll me sure, so you can roll that 1 die, see how you do. You're looking for a 6.
Oh dear.
6 would be the optimal, obviously.
Well, I guess a 2 is not so optimal.
No, no,
Oh.
no. We'll get to how that's gonna affect Jules in just a moment. So, Jules, tell me what you're gonna be doing on the ship while you are here in this dry dock.
Oh, well, I think we're gonna have to weld some struts to it and mount signal amplifiers to each of those struts to make our silhouette look larger, make it look like we're a freight carrier.
So, that's gonna take you, I would say, 6 segments. You're gonna need 6 successes. 6 segment successes. It's going to take a little bit of time to. You're trying to build basically a new infrastructure on top. You know.
I mean, not the whole infrastructure, just mount, say, 6 to 8 antenna,
Okay.
and on the end of each of them is.
I'll go to 3 then. We'll say it's going to take 3 segments. So why don't we see if you can succeed on the first roll?
So I have a question here.
Yes.
I have potency on all speed related rolls. Since you're trying to put us on a clock, is that a speed, or is
Yes.
it just acceleration is a speed thing?
So if you want to assist,
you want to assist because you will give your acceleration.
Okay.
Oh no, you're saying speed, not segment, right? Your power is segment.
I read it out.
Okay.
You have potency on all speed related rolls. I was asking what speed is referring to on that.
Okay. Speed is actually speed of your ship, not segments.
Okay. I do have 2 in rig,
Okay.
and so I think that's what we're using. So am I able to assist or anything?
Yeah, you can totally assist her by giving her a die, and that'll take a stress.
So how do I take stress?
You have a stress meter, and where is your stress meter on your character sheet? I don't know where it is
Sure.
on this one.
I see it.
Okay, cool. You take 1 stress on that.
So I just fill it in?
Yep, it's your hit points. So in hero system terms, it's your stamina, not the killing damage.
Stun.
Your stun. Thank you. It's your stun.
Yeah.
Yep, it's your stun basically. So you take 1 in that, and she'll get an extra. She'll get an extra die. So in Forged in the Dark, you're looking for 6s. If you get 1 or more 6s, it's an automatic super success. More than one 6, it's a crit success. If you get lower than that, we start going into issues. So, Crystal, why don't you roll me your time and such?
all right.
Let's see how well you do.
2 5s and a 2.
2 5s and a 2. So the 5 is what you got. And so at that point, let's see. So you're getting into working on this, and you're mounting the second antenna, third antenna, and it's going pretty well for you. But that's when things start going a little wonky. And oh, I just opened the wrong thing. Oops, sorry. Give me 1 second. So at that point, I need to find the person's name. I apologize. Ah, there it is. Choss comes rolling in a new speeder and starts making a fuss. And you guys can hear this in the other, outside in the office and such. And there is a very noticeable fuss out there. Brandon, you know Choss. They're the pro racer that you never get along with.
All right, the lion, dirt, and filthy cheat.
Lion, dirt, and filthy cheat. Yep. Okay. You hear a big fuss about the fact that his ship isn't ready, and et cetera, and well, now you hear someone coming into the back room, and they say, "Well,
I'm gonna go start looking for his ship.
Sure. You go start.
Hey,
looking for
where'd
shit.
my assistant go?
There's something I got to do. The old banana in the tailpipe gag.
Are you referring to his ship or his trousers?
Well, I figure it's going to be easier to get it into his ship than his trousers.
All right, you know what? You do you.
Maybe that's where he hid them cookies.
Again, the ship or the trousers?
So
Either one.
Sure is. Sounds like a good gamble. One more.
by the way, are the other two of you there or nearby?
Where
Yeah,
are
we're
you?
nearby. If he heads off, I'll come up to help Jewel.
Yeah, unless I was going to be dealing with my contact at the same time, then we're
Yeah, I'm like, hopper spanner, and instead of a tool neatly placed in my hand, it's just whack! Oh!
But it is actually the right tool because I actually have some rig.
Awesome.
And it's like Lucky Charms run off again, did he?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for your assist.
I'm sorry. I forget.
So before we get to Brandon and what he's going to do, let's go to you for a second, Jesse. What have you been doing here during this?
we're nearby. I'm watching this. There's a lot of interest. There's some interesting characters here. I might pick something up that looks odd and stare at it a little bit, toy around. Hopefully nothing blows.
Hopefully nothing blows in your face, okay? Are you taking an interest in anything in particular? Any ships? Any job going on here? Any work going on in here? Or are you just keeping a general eye?
I'm having a look around, seeing what kind of flow of traffic, the individuals, maybe trying to listen in on the conversations going around.
Okay,
If anything picks up my ear.
okay,
Overall, just kind of spying.
sure. So you're going to be nearby when Choss comes barging in on his speeder, okay? And we're going to get to that in just a second. Kevin, what are you going to be doing before you go and assist with the ship?
Well, and I'll set it up with kind of a scene. You guys know in Aliens when they're drop shipping onto the planet and you're on this team and everyone looks terrified except you get to Michael Biehn and he's asleep?
Mhm.
That's Kane. He's all it's that many years he had in. Any chance for sleep he gets, but as soon as there's trouble, he's alert to help his friends.
Okay.
But he spends a lot of time resting, sleeping, or he has a large collection of weapons. He cleans them a lot.
Okay. So you were sleeping on the ship until there was a commotion. And
Then
you
I
jumped
heard-
out.
Then I heard Jules, and it's like, his Lucky Charms ran off again. I'll go help her.
Okay. So, Jesse, I'm going to jump to you for a second. And what you see when coming into the front of this place is someone that's the complete opposite of your Lucky Charms, of your Stonewall. Where Stonewall is 3'3", you see this guy that's 8 feet tall. He looks basically like a 2-footed boar with completely hairless, though, so completely bald is just hide. He's got big, huge tusks, and he's only got one arm. And he's got basically a cybernetic arm that's about half the size of his other arm. Like somebody could not fit something to his body size. And he comes in and he starts going, "Where is my ship?" And he just starts slapping things. And so the young woman runs over, Triv being very short and slight. She runs over and you can see that she's visibly shaking. Is there anything you'd like to do since you are literally there listening in?
Yeah, I'm just gonna saunter on up and with sort of a swaying kind of pose and just kind of stand next to her so she sees I'm there. Maybe she won't be so intimidated. And I'll just be like, "Howdy, partner. What was it you need some help with?"
You help? He kind of smells you, snorts to you, and you smell like Drek. Triv was supposed to upgrade my ship.
Well, it's a new perfume they got around these parts that, and appreciate it. I hear it's good with the ladies. So how about we have a look at your ship then? I'm kind of sort of trying to persuade him to calm down a little bit and be compliant. Where he's gonna like, okay, let's go look at the ship and see what upgrades have been done, and maybe I could help kind of like calm him down a little bit.
Sure, Mr. Scoundrel. Why don't you roll me a sway?
Okay, and I have 2 in that, so that's 2 dice,
2 dice. 2d6.
and I got a 4 and a 1.
You got a 4 and a 1. Okay. So, Jesse, since you've never done any rolls in this, I'm just going to go over this real quick with you. On a 6, it's a real good, real big success, okay? No problems. And then let me just go find the page so I read it out to you correctly. I believe it's going to be 17. There it is. Found it. So, we're looking for, when you roll a 1, dice roll. Sorry. That way. So 6 is a full success on the highest die. And if you roll more than 1 6, it's a crit. If you roll 4s or 5s, that's going to be a partial success, which means that you succeed, but there's going to be an but something. If you rolled a 1 to a 3, it's a bad outcome. So in your case, your highest was a 4. So you've got a partial success. So I'd like you to tell me what you think in this particular case the but would be. You succeed, but
But when he goes and sees the ship, he sees that it's not where it should be as far as progress, and that's gonna probably piss him off.
okay. So you've got Chauce's attention, and Chauce gets off his speeder, and you can see basically the speeder just kind of lifts up in relief, at the weight coming off of it. And he starts clomping towards you, and every time he clomps towards you, he just kind of shakes the local space a little bit. And we're gonna pause you there because Brandon's off finding his ship. So Brandon, can you tell me a little bit about Chauce's ship, your pro racer nemesis?
It's something that he bought that his daddy bought for him. The guy's never worked a day in his life, and he simply likes to drag it out to show the ladies all the size of his tusks, if you know what I mean.
I mean, no, wait. I need somebody to explain to me how he's never worked in a day in his life, but he's got a big cyborg replacement limb.
Well, his daddy bought that for him too, because his brother and he were in a bit of a tussle a couple days after they were born, and poor guy lost it. He's got a bad attitude ever since then. All this "you took me arm from me" kind of stuff.
Okay.
You're painting a real grim cultural reality for whatever this species is.
It eats each other, apparently. Eats each other's arms.
Or he's shoveling it again, Jules.
Well,
there we go. So,
as the man says, my cow has died. I don't need your bull.
So, Brandon, what is the name of his ship? And what does the ship look like? Or what is it, give me some parameters of it.
The Toothy Tusker.
Okay, the Toothy Tusker.
And since he is a racer, this is meant basically for system races through systems, asteroid belts, that kind of stuff.
Okay, sure. So you go to the ship, and what are you doing to it?
Well, I've got a bit of a stinky cheese in my pocket. I want to get into the cockpit and really smear it in there underneath where he'd sit, so it'll just kind of be there. It'll take a while to ripen up, but after a while he'll definitely be wondering what the heck is going on in there for the smell. I also want to kind of examine it and see if maybe there's anything that we might be able to use that he doesn't need anymore.
Okay.
I've got a Skulka too that I'm wanting to use.
What about your scrap?
Scrap. I got no scrap.
Okay,
I got rig.
I'm gonna let you use Skulk. I can totally see Skulk. Scrap would be, you trying to take stuff, but skulking around. Why don't we go with Skulk, and you might be able to pick something up if you roll well.
Scrap is actually the fighting attribute.
Oh, that's right.
That's what
Sorry.
I thought.
No, you're right. I mixed that up. I was thinking of the. Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
I made that mistake too. I had to look it up while I was building my character.
Thank you. I mixed that up. So yeah, roll me your skulk.
I got to 6.
You got a 6. Well, you complete success. You sneak in there, you rub that stuff, and tell me what you find, actually, that would benefit your ship. You get to pick one item off his ship.
Since where we're going is in the middle of an asteroid belt, maybe it's an area that he races for practice, or there might be runs that go through there.
Okay.
So I get some plans for the asteroid belt that'll give us a lot more information about it.
Ooh, nice. That's going to give you guys some mod. Awesome. I can see giving you a die for that. Okay, so you grab the plans and you sneak out of the ship. And you're sneaking out of the back of the ship just as Jesse, you and the gentleman are pulling up. And yeah, the ship, remember how I mentioned this is a chop shop and most of what she does is chopping and she kind of absent-mindedly deals with stuff. So the ship went the reverse of the repair, since you were talking about the fact that it wasn't what he was expecting. And a couple of the pieces have been taken off the outer portion of his ship rather than actually upgraded and put on. So at that point, Choss is like throwing a fit. There's some equipment near you and he just slaps into the equipment. One of the flaming torch mechanisms falls on the ground and lights up. You start smelling a little bit of gas as there's a hole in the container that feeds into, the propane tank that feeds into the fire.
Guys, I do not believe this here chop shop's OSHA compliant.
No, it is.
Oh, what is that smell? Oh, it's you, Choss.
I guess this new perfume ain't as good as I thought it was.
So, yeah.
No, I'm gonna let him throw his temper tantrum, but I'm gonna try to direct it so he's not looking where our little friend's scurrying off from while he gets away from doing whatever it is he would.
Okay. You're gonna end up dealing with a little bit of a machine fire over here. So tell me how you're gonna put it out, because like I said, he's destroying stuff as he's throwing the tantrum, and as you're skirting around behind him and trying to redirect his attention, he broke one of the fire containers and the propane is leaking and there's active fire there. So you're running the risk of a big boom right in this little area. What are you doing to deal with that?
Is there a fire extinguisher or anything nearby?
I can say that there probably is. I'm willing to see that. Why don't you roll me a... well, that's an easy check. Sure. Yeah, you can find one.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and try to put out that fire real fast. Well, this guy is rampaging.
Sure. We're going to put you on hold for a second as you're trying to put that out. So, we're going to go back to Crystal and Kevin. You two are putting on the antenna, and you guys hear this scuffle going about, and you guys hear, when those when the fire torches light up, you hear it come up on, and there's a lot of noise going on. You guys gonna continue working? What is going on over here, guys?
I kind of like the idea that we're here in like a very quiet, measured conversation. Like, everybody will tell you the copper injectors is what everybody wants for performance, but the ceramic, I tell you, is a lot more reliable.
You're right, because people think copper in a bullet is the way to go.
See,
those ceramic rounds, they will take out armor like you wouldn't believe.
See, man, this is why I like you. You always got a practical
Jules.
syllogism.
You make sense to me, Jules.
All right, man.
That's cool.
Well,
Yeah, give me the particle injector.
you're grabbing onto that particle injector and you're blasting into it when you hear a thump, a large thump. And cutting back to Jesse, your big 8-foot guy just picked up a piece of hull that was taken off one of the ships and chucked it, and it hit the wall right near your guys' ship. So I think that at this point, he wants a fight. What do you think, Jesse?
Did he not react at all to me?
Oh, I thought you actually were saying, I apologize, Brandon. You said That's just used Choss as in, like, I didn't know you were actually talking to him because Jesse said he was directing away from you.
That was after. But yes,
Okay.
by all means, I cannot stand by and allow him to have his way with people. Might does not just make right.
Okay, so so when you say that, I apologize, Brandon, I misunderstood. I thought you were just side heckling. He looks
No,
at you.
that was active heckling.
Oh, okay, cool.
Heckling.
Yeah, sorry about that. I missed it.
No problem. So he sees you and he says, "Stonewall, it's you! You're stealing from my ship!" And he just reaches out and
Not
tries to
yet.
grab you.
Oh, why would I need to steal from this little hunk of junk? I bet it couldn't even fly.
So he reaches out and he tries to grab you. And in this game, it's basically, I don't really roll ever. You roll. So even when I am trying to attack you, you roll and describe how you are handling the situation and taking control of it. So Brandon, when he's reaching out to try and grab you, to shake you and bash you against a ship, what is your way of handling this?
Well, he's so big and I'm so small, it's easy not to be hit by him. That's science. I'm going to be dancing around the room with this gentleman. He obviously has a little too much energy and just needs to wire himself out. So, using me skulk to, move and slide to get things in the way.
Okay. I can totally see that. You're not trying to actually punch him, just, over here, and he runs after you as fire's being put out in the other corner. So why don't you roll me that skulk? You've got 2 dice to start with, I heard. Is there anything you'd like to do? Jesse, you are in the scene. Would you like to do anything to try and assist him, to try and make it... You already were saying that you were trying to direct his attention away.
Yeah, I'm gonna still try to get him away. I'm gonna try to assist him to skulk by distracting him or imposing a different threat at this point because I'm kind of scared that my pilot's gonna be turned into a pulp by this giant.
What kind of different threat? Are you taking that flaming torch and lighting his butt on fire, or what?
Yeah, that's actually a good one. So, or no, actually, because I'm already trying to put out the fire with the fire extinguisher, I'm gonna spray it right in his face.
Okay, so you're gonna spray the fire extinguisher right in his face. Oops, sorry, got the wrong. So you can spend a stress and give Brandon a die.
Sounds good.
Brandon, you have 3 dice to roll on this. And I'm going to actually say this is, yeah. No, you're good. Go ahead and roll it.
Okay. 6, 2, 3.
6, 2, 3. So you got a 6. So yeah, you're just playing cat and mouse with him. So we're gonna leave you there for a
I'm
second.
trying to get him out of here. There's no need for him to be breaking up Triv's shop. Maybe go dance around the garbage with him for a little while.
Okay, so you're gonna pull him out of the shop entirely, and we'll leave you there for the moment. Back to the ship, though. At this point, why don't we roll that second task roll on that time duration that you guys were needing?
Yeah, I'll use stress to give you an extra die there, Crystal,
Okay.
for sure.
And neither of you wanted to react to the fact that something boom up against near your ship.
Now wait, was that hull plating selenium? Because I could use that.
Yes, it was selenium.
Well, haul that here, Earth, haul that up here. That is a natural amplifier.
All right, but I look over. Do I see the scrap starting?
Do you see what? The fight? Yeah.
I'm gonna hang on. So I'll bring it over to her, and then I'm gonna head in that direction because Jethro has told me not to just kill people who make me mad.
Okay.
That's why I'm still here.
You see, as you call him, Lucky Charms is running like a little mouse under machines, under this and that, and running Joss out of the place, or Choss out of the place. And
So
it's very, big 8-foot hunking boom, boom, boom cat with a tiny little hee mouse.
the little guy seems to be doing okay, but I'm gonna help Jules here. I'll help her bring the thing over, then start heading in that direction.
Sure, Jules, why don't you roll it for me?
All right. Stay on the table. 5 again.
5. Well, you actually did finish. you're just about to put the final touches when you realize, hey, that's selenium. So if you'd like to add anything on, we can do that, but you will be finishing this task on the progress.
Perfect.
So you have fitted your antennae, fitted your little extra chassis and all just in time as things are going on outside. You're packing up. Kevin, you are going to head out to run after Jethro.
Well, I'm gonna go confront the big guy.
Okay, big guy is outside the building. Outside with it's outside of Triv's shop at this point.
So he's not back here. He's out on the street.
He is being pulled
At this point.
At this point, yes. You come out, you pop out on top, and you're watching, and the little Lucky Charms running around, and you're like, hold on, and you go back downstairs. You hand Jules the thing, come back up, and he's just crossing into the street.
And Jethro's just sort of like walking at a quick pace to keep up, and because of all the zigzagging, he can walk kind of casually. It doesn't seem like he's too worried right now, but he is keeping pace with the other group just in case something needs to
Oh, aye, because I can dodge under a ship, and he's got to go around or get down and crawl after me.
All right, so I will just stay in position here to keep an eye, and
Okay.
if he looks like he's going to get a hold of one of my two crewmates, I will want to be where I can get and go help.
Okay.
Or if they come back to the ship, that he's got to come through me before he gets to them.
Okay. So, Jules, your ship is ready. What's your plan at this point?
Well, if our pilot gets himself made into a cap, we're gonna have a real hard time lifting back off. Slide down the hull, grab a torque spanner, and just like trudge after them because you know what? We cannot just keep goofing off. Not without me joining in.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll definitely follow her to back up then. I'm not.
Okay. So all of you are going to make your way to the street. And luckily, like I said, this is the back alley of a black market area. So traffic is pretty low at this time of day here. So you guys basically have the street to yourselves. And you're literally watching the little Lucky Charm bounce up onto something, under something, around something, as you guys all pull in. And this hunking boar of a man with a thick hide, no hair at all, with big tusks. He's just, he's stomping around, and he just smashed one garbage can with his arm, with his normal arm. You just saw it like a soda can, and he just smashed it down, trying to catch Mr. Stonewall here, and Stonewall just bounced right around and behind.
Why's Lucky Charms always got to go aggravating the pretty ones?
I could probably draw his attention. Hang on. Hey, Bristleface, why don't you go hump somebody else's leg?
Now,
Hello?
this is what I call a justification. And he just like whistles out to try to get the attention of the hulking bullman.
Okay. So, he really, really hates Stonewall. So why don't you guys figure out which of you would like to take this role and roll me a scrap, explain, show me, basically tell me what you guys are going to do. Anybody who's wanting to assist is welcome to come scrap in on this.
Well, I'm just going to go. You guys can go if you want, but
Yeah, I think Kane takes the lead on this.
Okay.
And I'll assist by scooping up Stonewall.
Okay.
Yeah, I think with
And
with the
kind of
background
guarding with a wrench.
between our background with me and Kane, I think we're probably pretty good at working together, and we both got great scraps. But I'll be assisting because Kane's stepping in and
Sure.
doing his job.
no, I think I can only ever get one bonus die from an assist. I believe.
Correct. Correct.
Oh,
So
You can.
don't both of you eat a stress. Only one of you suffer that.
Yep.
So-
But at this point, I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain.
Cool.
Ooh.
So he is big and hulking.
And don't forget stupid
and
smelly.
and stupid. I'm going to say that you can get 2 extra dice if you're going to basically say you're going to take some sort of hit from him and suffer a point of trauma.
Okay, I'll suffer a point of trauma.
You
Am I
get
still?
2
You'll still give me a
additional
chance. Will you still give me a chance to resist that?
Yes.
Would that be,
Yes, you would.
Okay.
would it be harm or trauma?
In this
Harm.
case, harm. Sorry, I'll
Yeah.
give him harm. Sure. Yes.
I'll also point out, Alice, that
Uh-huh.
because it's It's an italicized. My fine martial art always comes with me,
Okay.
but it's not some fancy Eastern philosophy. It's like it's an Israeli commando trained in Krav Maga.
Okay. And yes, it should be harm because you do get the chance to resist it, but you are saying you're willing to suffer that harm. Cool.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Trauma is more like
It feeds into my vice.
Yes.
Is
So
your
you
vice
be
hurting
accurate.
people?
Actually, my vice is being hurt back by people.
Oh.
I should introduce you to my parents.
He bare knuckle boxes till both he and his opponent are literally in a stupor.
Okay.
But anyway, well, that is a 6-5.
Ooh, you
2-1.
got your. Well, you got your
I got my
6.
six.
You got your
And-
6.
And
Describe
plus
it.
effect if I'm allowed for my martial art.
Yes, you are. So describe it to me.
Well, it's going to be just mostly get his attention, and it'll be like go like punch to the side, and as I'm following through, elbow to the throat, but not killing him, just knocking him out because Jethro doesn't like it when I kill people who make me mad.
Okay. And so, it's kind of like this matador action here. So how is the harm possibly coming to you on that description?
Oh, he's a big man. He catches me right square in the shoulder back.
Okay. So he's like basically head down, kind of starts charging you, and you just kind of let him come. You take it, and then you whack him back. Okay.
Yep.
Why don't you roll me your resist on that harm?
So what level of harm are you giving me, Alice? 1 or 2?
2. He's
2?
big.
He's big? Okay, so I resist it, but I have 4 in prowess. I'm assuming I'm doing that.
Oh yeah.
But I rolled a 5, so I burn a stress. Is that removing it or just dropping it a level?
You're gonna remove it.
Okay, so
It's not like a ship or a car running over you.
Okay.
It's just a man. So yeah, I'll let you remove it.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, he goes, hits the throat. He goes, and he drops back onto the floor.
And so
I pee on him.
for all those BWK fans watching at home,
No,
I'll
I'm
describe-
still holding him.
I pee on
Sorry,
him
still
from
holding
there.
Lucky Charms.
We'll explain how that rule worked for those watching at home. Alice was imposing a level 2 harm. So what you can do is take your attributes to try and resist what the GM is giving you.
Right.
And what I did was it's 6 minus whatever you roll in the die stress you take. So I managed to resist it, but I did take more stress for doing that.
Okay. Awesome. And yes, thank you.
It's 6 minus what now?
6 minus the highest roll. So my prowess is 4 because I've got at least 1 skill level and everything there. So I rolled 4 dice and I managed to get a 5 as my best. So I took a stress and avoided it.
Gotcha.
So yep.
And then it's like, it turns out, sorry guys. And
No,
just back to the ship.
And yeah, you guys head back to the ship. This the big Choss is, took it in the throat, croaked, went unconscious, and well, you guys are heading onto the ship, and it's done. As
I'm putting it away as we go.
okay, and as you guys are starting to board the ship, Triv is sitting on the what is the term? But you guys, the cargo hold's open, and she's standing right in the doorway of the cargo hold, and she says, excuse me, you're not going anywhere until you give me that android you promised me."
I
One
didn't
second,
promise you an android.
I got one question for Stonewall. Is that your new cereal, Twig and Berries?
Well, no. It's that you said we're going to leave our mark on everything that we take out. I just did that.
Okay, wait. Point of order, real quick.
I'm not thinking we're all agreeing that the mark we leave is your piss stains, sir.
Well, I
Please.
was going to do it on his ship, but I ran out of time.
Please tell me Stonewall is actually like a small lemur-like alien and not
Yes.
just a little person?
Yes.
That works for me, actually. That, a mercat is kind of what I was thinking.
Stonewall.
Okay.
Okay, because I was going to feel real awkward about picking him up and carrying him.
But yeah,
So is Zeno not Warwick Davis from Leprechaun? Noted.
All right. Well, I am going to go show Taz how I, what did she call it? Bond with the ship?
Yep.
Yeah, now you
Connect with the ship, because she was told that you were part of the ship, and so she wanted to know how you were part of the ship.
Well, it's real easy. You see the oscillator here? It works on centrifugal force. Now, you get some welding tape. You attach 2 quarters to the side of that, and it'll give you a nice jostle that ain't strong enough to injure the bearings. And I
Okay.
imagine I just keep going into more and more detail as
Uh-huh.
her face grows increasingly horrified.
Yeah.
And as they go off to have this womanly conversation about ships and bonding, Jethro just sort of looks at the other two male companions and says, "I think now's a good time to have ourselves a game of poker. Let's go, boys." And he just like tries to get them to go away so they don't have to be subjected to this.
Okay.
I'll
And-
point out that my vice is specifically pleasure.
Okay. Any particular type of pleasure?
Ship
Gratification.
pleasure.
Huh?
Carnal.
Okay.
Mechanical.
So the
Frequent
question.
mechanical recalibration.
Okay. So the
Those
question.
could be those could be one and the same. Oh wait.
So my question for you is are you using this this mechanical tech talk as seduction or foreplay with Triv?
I mean, it's not intended that way, but
Okay.
if she is amenable.
You know, I would say that given her profile, she's part horrified and she's part turned on from this. So you're welcome to use that, and we will just say that you did that, and we'll fade to black.
Oh, there's
And-
got to be one. Sorry, I have to because it's there now.
Okay.
I'll join the poker game in a sec. I'll be in my bunk. You
Okay.
put it out there. You guys
And
put
yes,
it
you
out
did,
there.
and we will fade to black there.
Now,
No.
does that mean she gets to recover stress?
Yes, actually, it does. So-
Jethro tries to gamble and have a bottle of whiskey. He's not thinking about any of that stuff.
Okay.
Them crazy.
So
Now, my vice is that I can't. I'm soft-hearted. I can't let people get pushed around and such, and so that's the reason that I jumped on that.
okay, you sort of indulged in your vice, but that wasn't in the same degree. So
That's fine.
Yeah, typically you roll it during downtime.
Yeah.
And if you actually roll too much and clear too much stress, you go on quotes a bender.
yes, you go on a bender and you can take damage for it. You
Yeah, and then-
actually
and then
take
we- and then-
stress.
And then we add a new character from the crew.
Yeah, I actually had that. But right now we're having a cutscene downtime
Yeah.
before we move into the next, which is why I'm saying right now you guys have an opportunity to retrieve your to roll for your stress. And I need to figure out that chart. Or Kevin, do you have it off the top of your head on the chart?
No, I don't. I'd have to go out there.
Every table I've ever
get it.
played at has had to look up the chart on that. So,
Yeah.
but where you guys get a chance to indulge in your
Yeah,
stuff
I might
right
have-
now
I might
before
have,
we
I
move
might
on.
have a PDF hidden here somewhere. Hang on.
I'm just gonna
I
hit
don't-
that. Stress is page 12, and so
Yeah, no,
Actually, I think it's hidden under downtime, Alice.
it's gonna be in downtime, so it's gonna be the later
I think it's
option.
in
for
downtime,
stress.
yeah.
Okay. So you guys are gonna be recovering your stress. I believe it's gonna be rolling 2d6, but I'm gonna double check that. It's gonna be on page 203.
see vice page 1.
So, I picked two vices: gambling and stupor. Basically, he likes to gamble and drink, and
Uh-huh.
I didn't realize this, but I said that he was going to be trying to have some whiskey and play poker. Would that
Yeah.
does that have a
you-
change in?
Yeah, that would be. So we'll see if you end up on a bender, because you might have to bring in a new character if you roll two, depending on what you roll. So at this point, you guys need to roll me a resistance roll for this cutscene downtime that we're gonna move on into. So where you guys get a chance to clear it, and it's gonna be dependent on your worst attribute.
Yeah.
So insight, prowess, or resolve, whatever's your worst.
My worst is a 0.
Okay.
My worst is a 0 too.
So
My worst is a
Maybe I
zero.
should rejigger a little.
So if your worst is 0, all you get is 1 die. So go ahead
Yeah.
and roll 1 die. You're looking for
And what do we want?
you want, let's see here. You want a
Like, because you just told. Also, am I rolling because you said that what I did wasn't doing it, and so I don't know if we're.
so during downtime, if you can describe to me, during this downtime cutscene, you can go and help people. That's fine. There's a whole chop shop of people to help.
No,
put out a fire
I
and
heard
stuff
that I'm
like
drinking and playing poker, and then we're gonna go on. So
So it sounds like you're
Okay.
not recovering right
Cool.
now.
At
It's
two
gonna be-
stressed, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm not rolling
Yeah.
anything.
You're gonna roll the d6, and you're hoping to get the number of stress you have or less. If you roll more than your stress, you are going to be overindulging, and then we're going into issues. So if you have like 5 stress right now and you want to roll your d6, you have a good chance. If you have only 1 stress and you want to roll your d6, you might lose your character for a little while.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and hold off for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we
yeah,
just made these
okay.
characters.
Okay.
They're
Cool.
brand new.
Yeah.
I don't want to break them.
You don't want to go on a bender and lose it for a couple scenes. Okay.
I'll have sex, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to like have vice sex.
Okay.
So, out of curiosity, what happens if you roll over like by 1?
If you roll over, you go into a state of overindulgence, which means you'll end up keeping the stress that you have, and you will end up basically on a bender, and you'll disappear as a PC from the scene for a while. Depending on
There are other options.
There are.
One of the options is big talk, which is just you get in a situation where you're yakking up and we take a whole bunch of heat.
Yeah, we're gonna give you guys would take 2 heat. You guys could also reduce your stash, which is how much you guys have hoarded on money. You guys could go into debt, and so you guys could owe more money, and then you can be lost for a few weeks. So those are the options.
Yeah, I'm not going to indulge. I was just
Okay.
playing out.
Cool. So right now you're okay. You guys are gonna keep going. So you guys have dealt with Triv's shop, her little chop shop, and try to chop up your house, your ship, and you guys have your ship upgraded. Did you guys have any other contacts you wanted to interact with before
Jesse, I heard, had one.
Ooh, Jesse.
Yes.
Who do you want to go
Yes, I
talk to
did.
and why?
I was gonna go talk to Aura about this this place we're gonna be seeing, and maybe Aura she's an info broker. See?
Okay.
And
I
she'll
share
probably
the
be able to-
charts that I got.
and she'll be able to maybe give us some ins and outs of the comings and goings of that place, and
And how-
maybe.
And how do you know Aura?
So Aura, see, after my military time, I got myself into a little bit of trouble at the casinos and whatnot, and maybe built up too much debt than I should. But I had to start taking some side jobs, and Aura there, well, I knew her back from my military days, and she seems to be connected to a lot of folk. And so when there's some info to be had, maybe a job to do, she typically has a good way of point me in the right direction.
Okay. So it sounds like she would be the head of a gambling hall, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. So you guys go and find her gambling hall. Are all of you going?
Depends on what his desires. I'm certain that, I can be tooling around and doing general stuff on the ship, getting it ready.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can track down a woman I used to work with, Nissa, and see if she has updated like transponder codes I can borrow.
Cool. So we'll go around, and sounds like he's going to go alone at this point, right, Kevin? Or are you going with him as the bodyguard?
I would go if he asked for backup. I don't crowd him.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Jesse,
he's just going to get some information. So he's going to leave his pal to his own vices if he wants, but he's not going to stop him from coming either. But he's not going to ask.
Sure. So you go over to the gambling hall, and the bouncers at the door stop you. And the big guys, they're like, list, name. You're not on the list.
Oh, that can't be right. Jethro Aberdeen. It's got to be on there.
And they start typing G and completely not your name.
No.
All right, what's
GPDER.
Jethro?
What kind of help does this place offer anymore? It's a J. Jethro.
J. And they, the big brute types it in. Yeah. Aura's up in the VIP lounge.
Alrighty then, I'll just go have a quick talk with her.
Okay.
And
So you go in. It's a gambling den that's got a terrace around it, and so it's got 3 floors in total, the open floor on the bottom, and then the terraces that go up along the sides. And she's going to be up on the 3rd floor in a VIP lounge that will overlook the main pit. You go up there, and in the room you find Aura, who is a very long purple cross between a snake and a caterpillar, smoking out of her hookah. She's got this long black hair, and the length of her snake tail is wrapped around a pole in the middle of the room. And she looks at you and she says, and she takes a little smoke and she blows it out. Jethro, and how are you? And she's, blowing as she's talking to you.
All right, doll. It's been a long time. I'm doing good. I hope I see you've been doing well too. It's nice to be back on the planet.
Yes, been doing quite well. Thanks to your little help. How can I help you?
Anytime, doll. And he takes off his little cowboy hat and puts it on his lap out of a sign of respect. So I got a little side job, as you know I do, and I was hoping maybe you or one of your consorts could provide me with some little information that might help us out on that task.
Who are working for?
Well, you know me, I never really ask that kind of information. I just kind of do the jobs that come and fall in my lap.
And what? And she offers you the smoke from the hookah. Are
Does Jethro know her well enough to know not to take a smoke from that thing?
you tell me?
He
She's a
probably
good friend of
does.
yours.
Yeah, he knows. It's not the right time and place.
Okay.
Thanks for the offer, but he politely waves it away.
She seems like the type that would get offended when you turn her down, though. If you're looking for information,
Oh, okay. Well,
hospitality
in
and
that
all.
case, he's
Might
gonna
know better,
he's gonna
but
take he's gonna take a puff of it, but not try to inhale too much.
I knew that known inhale was coming up.
I did not inhale. Okay, sure. Why don't you roll me a resolve real quick, just to see how much you end up swallowing of that?
Okay, I have a resolve of 1, so that's 1 dice.
Okay.
And I rolled a 6.
You rolled a 6. Okay, you were like, I'm really prepared. I've got some practice, and whoo, see, no, none went it. Okay, you're good. No hallucinations, no nothing. And at about this time, you realize that she seems to be somewhat, paying attention to you, but seems to be paying attention to something that isn't there as well. She's like moving one of her caterpillar arms around the air and such. So, what information are you going to try and ask her for?
So I want to ask her about perhaps some traffic coming in and out of that particular space station up there that we got to go infiltrate. Maybe there's some cleaning crews that have to stop by or security patrols.
Okay. Why don't you roll me a sway?
Okay, I have a sway
Yeah.
of 2.
How much you get out of her?
So I rolled a 2 and a 2.
Ooh. Okay.
Yahtzee!
Yeah.
You did get a Yahtzee. Yeah, she really doesn't seem to know anything about the place that you're going to. In fact, well, like you get the sense that she's holding back at first. She tells you she doesn't know anything, and you get the sense she's holding back. And then afterwards, after a little bit more coaxing, she tells you that she did hear a little rumor about a supply ship that's supposed to make is supposed to dock and drop off some machinery supplies and just general food and such like that for the station. And the ship's name is the Avalast.
Okay. Well, I will thank her for her time and then make my way on back to the ship.
Okay. You're going to make your way back to the ship. So, Crystal, I believe you had a contact you wanted to go speak with.
You're muted.
You're still muted. There you go.
Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see my old friend Nissa. She used to run guns, and I used to keep her ship a-flying.
Okay. Previous employer. Cool.
Spent a lot of time patching up bullet holes in that hull.
Do you have an image of Nissa for me, that a little more information about Nissa that you see, or I can run with it?
Go ahead and run with it. You seem to be
Okay.
having a lot of fun with these.
So you go and you visit Nissa. What kind of ship does she have that you were running guns with her on?
I'm gonna say it's a beat-up old mammoth class transport, but outfitted with some high-performance engines and radar baffles.
Sure.
Radar baffles that all look like decorative, like fins and antennas and things like that.
Okay. You go and you find her. Nissa is docked in one of the. She's currently docked nearby, trying to get her ship fixed up, trying to resupply, and you happen to catch her between trips. And she sees you, and she goes. She's a little odd. She's very lithe in the face, but her body is very round, and she's obviously an alien species. She has 2 arms that grow out of her back, as well as 2 arms that are right in the front, like, where humans have it. And so 2 arms off her back are, loading stuff into the cargo hold, and 2 arms are trying to pull stuff up as you come up on her. And Nissa looks over at you and she says, She kind of like scrutinizes you and doesn't speak. At first she's like, who's?
Hey, Nissa, it's great to see you. I knew I heard your engines coming down. I never forget an engine roar.
Well, I'll be. It is you. I thought you were out of the system by now, girl.
Oh, I come and go. You know how I am.
Well, you should, I need a new mechanic. Last one got her, last one's been indisposed. We'll just go with that. No mechanic better than you.
Get a hand caught in that fly belt? Ooh, I told you, you gotta get a baffle for that thing.
No, she, let's just say she and a gun we were running didn't work so well when it was tested.
Ooh. Yeah, you're gonna want to mop that up with some bleach.
Yeah. Also some acid reducer, and also the hull kind of corroded.
Oh. Now you're better off just replacing that hull plate.
Yeah. Well, I don't suppose you're coming to offer. See, she was one of them. What's those races called? The Zalix. Her whole body was acidic, so when she, it was everywhere.
Yeah, I learned the hard way. You cannot perforate one of them.
Yeah. What brings you by? Need work?
No, I'm actually here because I'm in the middle of work, and I was hoping you could help me out. Do an old friend a favor.
Well, for Jules for you, just about anything. Just about anything.
Now, I don't know anybody in this system that carries more transponder codes than you, and I find myself in need of a nice, innocuous freight transponder.
Freight transponders? Uh-huh. Well, let me go, come on in. Let's see, watch your foot. Yep, there, right there. Watch your foot. Ooh, yeah, see? And you get in, and, like, there's this big hole in the floor.
Are you putting pockmarks in my baby?
Well, it ain't your baby no more unless you're coming back.
Oh. Nissa, you know I can't do that. They need me over on the Venture. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, apparently the last engineer didn't know what she was doing, as evident by that mark right there. Hard to find good help these days.
Oh, ain't that the truth? You gotta meet our pilot. Crazy little monkey pisses on everything he finds.
Well, just make sure he don't piss on my baby. But yeah, you need a transponder code. What kind of transponder?
Like I said, just a nice innocuous freight.
Innocuous freight. Okay, innocuous freight. Why don't you roll me? I would say this is probably hack because you're gonna look through and you're gonna try and see what she is giving you is authentic and works. So why don't you roll me a hack roll?
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and push myself because my hack isn't super great.
You're looking over her shoulder and she's looking for codes.
I do have high-end hacking tools, if that helps.
Yeah, go ahead and get a die for that. I believe it's a die, right?
I think it actually, if I manage to succeed, it ups the quality.
It boosts the quality of her effect.
Oh yeah, that's right. There it is. Okay. There's some that are a full die for it. I just read what yours does. Ooh.
Yep. So a 4.
4. Okay. Yeah, she is able to pull you up a couple transponder codes that seem legit, seem like they would work. I'll be very honest with you, Jules. That one there and that one there, I haven't tested in a while, so I can't say if they've been deactivated or not. But the first one and the 6th one, they should be pretty good.
All right. Well, I only need one, so thank you very much. I owe you. Next time we are in port together, I'll buy you a fine drink and a fine gentleman.
Well, I hope that you can find me a fine gentleman, because it's been quite a while. And speaking of which, that Stev's been looking for you. Said that you left with his booty, something like that?
I'm sure he's exaggerating. You know how Stev is. Booty. Who talks like that?
Well, apparently it's some sort of something. I didn't ask no questions, but he's looking for you, and he did not look so friendly.
Well, I mean, Stev was never that friendly.
I never did see what you saw in him. I mean, yeah. We just have different taste in men.
Well, I feel it's a bit generous to refer to Stev as a man.
Oh, fair enough. Well, you go and you have yourself some good luck out there. It ain't too friendly. It ain't too friendly out in the outer space these days, out of the outer rims these days.
Oh, well, don't I know it, but we're working on that.
Awesome. Well, okay.
As always, a pleasure. You have yourself a great time. Stay safe. Tell your mama I love her.
And, oh gosh.
Sorry, tell your parental orb I love her.
And, if you do know any good mechanics, send them my way. I'll try not to let them get shot up. I promise.
I'd appreciate it. It's a difficult skill to master. Shame to let it go up in a puff of smoke. And to spray acid.
Okay, so you guys, you have a couple transponder codes you can try and test out. You guys have forged documents. You guys heard about a ship called the Avalanche that's supposed to make dock with some supplies. And you guys have algorithm for the automated defenses. I heard that you guys got that. So at this point, Brandon and Kevin, do you have anything to add before we move on to you actually leaving the planet?
I added by working with my contact already, so.
Awesome. Kevin, do you have anything else?
That was just a big group scene.
Well, my contact is with me every night as I make sure that Sten is ready to go.
Okay, cool.
I know I could take it out and try and get information and threaten those to learn stuff, but I'm not going to bother.
Awesome. So everyone is good with us moving on to you leaving the planet.
Yep.
Fantastic. Yep. So you guys take off. and you guys head into space. You guys are heading out into the outer rim of the solar system, and it is not particularly friendly. Traversing this is going to take a little bit of skill, Brandon. You are dealing with an area that's had some, let's just say, galactic warfare, and so there are some areas of the asteroid belts and such whatnot that are, there's a lot of debris in addition to asteroids that you have to navigate. So while you have the asteroid map, you never know where there's debris that's going to be. So why don't we start with some rolls here? Why don't you, I believe you need to roll me some piloting checks. And
Sure. So I've got 2 dice on my helm. I have a fine small Urbot. What does that do?
fine small Urbot?
Mhm.
Urbots
It's
are
R2D2 basically.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find that in the book. I don't know what an Urbot is. So do you, Kevin?
It is
It can avoid memory wipe routines. It is a pilot's. It's your little pilot assistant, like you said, an R2.
Yeah. It supports piloting and can carry a few items. Seems eerily sentient.
Yeah, I would say that it can give you. Actually, tell me.
Now it's fine, so that's like quality, which
Yeah.
like there's 3 different things that
So
we
get a die
compare,
for it.
right?
Yeah, get a die for it.
Yeah,
Because
like I say, you could either grab an extra die or again that improved effect if it's like plugged in and helping you navigate.
Yeah.
They're basically like drones but sentient.
Yeah, so you can either choose. I'll let you choose improved effect or the extra die, based on what you want.
So what does improved effect do?
You go up a category of effect from your roll.
Also, and Alice has been very nice and not done this to us yet. Actually, when you're making a roll, you tend to be in either a controlled position,
Controlled. Yeah.
standard, desperate.
Yep.
She hasn't put us in a desperate situation yet.
Well, there's controlled, risky, or desperate.
Risky,
yes.
that's it. Risky, thank you.
Risky. Yes. But early on, I wasn't going to do that, but we're actually entering the area where it's going to be risky. Risky and desperates are good. Also, you guys want me to start throwing riskies at you as we actually enter the job, because earlier on we were just prepping for the job. But you want me to throw you guys into desperate, because desperate will get you XP. So if we're playing this long term, you want desperate because you want to get XP. But at this point, this roll is going to be risky. Thank you for reminding me that I should let him know.
Yeah, and to be an example, Brandon, if it were desperate, even if you rolled a 6, that's still a limited success in a desperate situation.
It was and I believe I had you read it, but when I set the position, so I'm going to set this as risky for you, and when you get effect dice, it's going to improve improve your situation when you're rolling. So if you're getting an effect level, it goes from limited. There's limited, standard, or great effect, and so I'll bump you as classification.
I did not follow.
Okay.
So because one of my specialty is focused on doing desperate and gambits.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how those play out. That's my spell.
So the effect is remember how I showed you about that pie chart that we have, Brandon? So I'll designate how many ticks it'll take for you to navigate through. So at this point, I have a number in my head, and I'm not usually supposed to tell you how many slices on the pie there is. The limited effect, if you succeed, it'll give 1 tick off of that towards success. These are progression marks. Standard would be 2, and great would be 3. So if you take an added effect and you got a standard from the bot, with the bot, you would be bumped up to great, which means you take 3 ticks off the overall need for success. If you got a great, I would actually give you a 4th tick because of her.
Summed up, roll good, get more pie.
Yes, get more pie.
Now,
More pie.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But what does risky have to do with that?
Risky means that you are going to be bumped down a category naturally. So the controlled means that you just start at a standard. So risky means you'll drop down to limited is where you start, and move up from there. I'm correct on that, right, Kevin?
Yeah, risky is kind of the standard setting most of the time. We're taking risks when we're doing
Oh,
things.
sorry, yeah. Desperate is what drops you down. Yes,
Yeah.
controlled gives you control
risky
starts you
standard.
great.
Risky
Yes.
means when you roll low, there can be harsher consequences. In a controlled situation, if we really do bad, we can either regroup and try a different approach, or just push through and take it anyway.
Yeah.
We get that choice. In a risky situation, if the dice turn on us, then we're just eating the effect.
Yep.
And
And sorry about that. Thank you for reminding me, because I changed the scale one level. But yes, at risky you start with standard and move up or down. At desperate you start with limited and go up. So you are currently at standard. You can get moved up to great.
Sure,
And if
I'll
you're
go
rolling
ahead
well,
and
you'll
use it.
go above that.
I'll use it for improved effect.
Okay.
And I got a 5.
You got a 5. Okay.
So that makes it mods it to a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
No.
basically?
A 5 means that you succeeded at that task with minor possible things, and you get modded an effect level, which is different than the dice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's different than the dice, but you succeeded at the standard, and you'll get moved up to the great. Since we're now actually in the action scene on trying to navigate around stuff, there is going to be an and but. So you succeeded, but you got 3 ticks. At that point, actually, I think you're pretty good, because you would basically bounce anything off with that 3 ticks. So you navigate through, and you navigate through a large portion of it where you found that there's debris, and your maps have really helped you on this.
Yeah, and what benefit did the maps give me on that roll?
The map I gave you a +1 mod in my head, and that's what modded you to a 6. I forgot about the map, and that's why I modded you to a 6 and didn't. But I can give you +1s or +1s for something for gear instead of a +1 die if I wish. So, but that so yeah, you navigate with the charts, and you're like, every so often you have, on your radar, you come across a piece of debris, and whack, and it floats, and you just are able to skirt it just barely. And you travel for a while. I need you to roll one more check on this. It's going to be the same check, because you need a little more. There's a little more time to it. But yeah, and tell me what you roll.
So I'm rolling pilot again?
Yes, you're doing the same roll again, because you still have more ticks you need to do in order to navigate fully through to the other side to where the meteor is, or asteroid that you guys are dealing with, or space dock. Yeah, space dock.
I got a 3.
You got a 3. Okay. You're still using your Urbot for effect?
Yeah.
Okay. So you are just about to crest onto the outside of that belt when your sensors start to go off, and there's alarms going through the ship. Seems to be a space. There's a space pirate ship off to the right of your ship, hiding just behind an asteroid.
We do appear to be an innocuous freighter.
Yep, you do appear to be an innocuous freighter. Sounds like you are perfect bait for a ship.
Yeah, y'all are welcome.
So, how would you guys like to handle this? As it comes out, you can see that they are locking up, they are turning on weapons, getting stuff turned on, because they were trying to hide their ship for a while.
Awesome. This sounds great. Let's gun it to our destination and try and get their automated defenses to blow these pirates out of the sky.
Ooh, okay. Why don't you? Yep. So why don't you roll me another check then? This time though, let's say that engineering, you need to boost the power of the ship, because while he is gunning it, you guys are not going to lose it unless you guys gain a little more power. You guys need a little more warp speed. This is why you wanted that warp engine, right?
Concert
Trans-warp
inconsistent
Transwarp drive.
backpedaling. Oh! This is why nobody trusts a pilot.
So pilot's navigating you, but the engineering is like you know your machines, your poor baby is like sputtering and trying to keep up. What are you gonna do to try and give it a little more oomph in here?
Well, I mean, I can pull out the safety console
Uh-huh.
and use the wiring from that to overclock our warp injector.
Ooh, that sounds like you're trying a desperate action there, Crystal.
That does feel rather desperate.
That does. Sure, let's go with a desperate action on that clock. I like
We
desperate
already
actions.
We already got our power system pushed to the max trying to run 6 extra transponders, and you want me to give you more power for the engines? Next,
Yep.
you've been telling me to plug the dang weapons back in.
When did the weapons get unplugged?
Now, Kane, sounds like Judy over there is having a hard time. I don't know. Maybe you might be able to help her out.
I'm on it.
I'm gonna push myself and
Okay.
take a little bit of stress.
Okay.
I will actually, I will point out, I believe we can spend ship gambits too, if we want.
You
we don't all have
can.
that,
You've got 3 ship gambits to use, 3 dice total.
but I am,
All right,
I've burned distress to a sister because oddly
Alright.
enough, as you will find, Kane is actually pretty comfortable around ship systems in general, like
Okay.
backup
Go ahead.
piloting, backup engineering.
gonna go ahead and take a XP for making this desperate attempt.
Yes. Do that.
Oh, got a 6 and a bunch of 5s.
Oh, nice. Okay, so yeah, she pulls out some wires from this one thing, straps it into the next, and those guns don't seem to be working now, but we'll deal with that later, apparently. And all of a sudden, Brandon, you're piloting, and whoosh! You just gain a burst of speed, and you jet forward.
I like you a lot, Jules, but always tell me when the guns are unplugged. Always.
Well, I mean,
Well,
they technically occupy that slot.
Well, I don't mind much now. I'm going to go have myself a nap because I know
Yeah.
nothing about how ships work.
Now, I don't want to concern nobody, but technically, we are no longer recycling oxygen.
Good thing I breathe small when I.
So that burst of speed she gave you, Brandon, was able to let you basically just maneuver past some of the automated defenses fast enough while it was turning, and so it shoots down the pirate ship behind you. Pew pew pew, and more debris joins that asteroid field. There you go. So ahead of you on sensors, you guys see the you guys never named that place, did you? But you guys see the space
It's
dock.
City Alpha 6.
City Alpha 6. Okay. City Alpha 6. City Alpha 6. So you guys see City Alpha 6 orbiting a rather large asteroid. There are gun platforms shooting, and at this point, they seem to start be aiming at you, but they haven't shot out yet because you guys are an innocuous freighter. So you guys hear on the hailing frequency, Alpha 6 to unidentified vessel, Alpha 6 to unidentified vessel.
Where's our scoundrel?
Right?
Yeah, I got this. This is that. We're rigged to be called the call sign the Alabasta, correct?
Abalast.
Yeah. The Abalast. This is the Abalast. We're coming in hot. We got some pirates tailing us, and we appreciate you taking them out for us. We're ready to approach and provide you with what you've been waiting for.
Sure.
We're loaded full of pirated DVDs for these guys.
Yep. Kevin. I need to double check my list. I believe it's Kevin. Yeah. Kevin. You, at that point, said, wait, what? Abalast? Abalast is the name of the ship that Chauncey runs. It ain't no freighter.
Yeah. That ain't no, yeah. Aboleth is not a freighter.
Nope.
I blessed ain't no freighter. Well, that lady up in the casino doesn't stir me wrong. Holy hell.
So,
Let's see how this plays.
yeah, so the hailing frequency comes back and goes, Ablast is, say again, identify ship, Alpha 6 to unidentified vessel. Say again, did you say Ablast as designator?
Quick, somebody give me a name here.
Alabaster porcelain.
Alabaster porcelain. Then he gets back on the comp. It's that alabaster porcelain. Sorry, I misspoke. Alabaster porcelain. I don't know. And he like clicks on the button to make it cut out. I'm sorry. We were having some technical difficulties with the communications and whatnot. It's porcelain. That's all call sign.
Well, here's the thing.
We're all
also,
fine here. How
yeah.
are you?
Also, it depends on what came through because she did, on her desperate action, take some wires out of the communications. I heard. So, why don't you roll?
No.
Oh,
Console.
Oh, different console. Okay. So why don't you roll me a sway check here and see how well you bluffed that way through?
Okay, and I'm gonna take some stress here.
Okay. I think you're feeling a little
I
stressed.
think we all are.
Yeah. Is there a limit on how much stress I can take?
You can take it once for one die, so you would take 2 stress to get 1 die. Also, I think that at this point you might be going from risky to desperate because you're like, oh bleep, I got the wrong name of the ship. So I think we're gonna set your danger level start at desperate.
Okay, and can I use a gambit on top of that?
Yeah, you can use a gambit, and one person can assist you for a die as well.
Okay, so I've got 2 in sway. I'll burn a stress. That's 3, and then I'll take a gambit. That's 4 dice.
Okay, 4 dice. Roll some dice.
Well, I got a 6 is my top one. 3, 2, 3 were the others.
Okay, so yeah, you play it off and you're okay. And yeah, you the ship goes copy. The space station goes Alpha 6 copy. Abelastor porcelain. You are we do not see you on our manifest. What is your intent? What is your mission?
All calm, he says, to steal your damn ship. But what should we tell him?
And he's still active.
Urinal pigs. We're calling urinal pigs.
Square pegs.
Do we mention the blind orphans? Will that help?
Blind
I'm not
orphans
gonna
that
say
got blinded by the cookies.
Yeah, I was gonna say that is a tragic story.
Yeah, we were traveling through the area and we had some orphans that were eating cookies and they got blind and then we got attacked by some pirates. We just need to land down and have some time to recoup and carry on our way. These orphans need to get to their new home.
Why is he listening to me? I'm awful at this.
Roll me a
Orphans to a weapons platform.
Between
sorry.
urinal
I should've
pigs,
done that
square
in
pigs, and we're gonna give you orphans.
Okay.
We went with orphans.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna give you a sway roll on this, but you're starting at desperate because right now they're not buying this story. Let's see if you can turn this around because you're starting this one at desperate, but you have to sell this.
Okay, so I'm not going to take any stress for
Okay,
this. I'm
shot
going to
at.
roll my 2 dice.
Okay.
I got a 6 and a 4.
Well,
Crazy.
you're scoundrels that silver tongue, guys. You
They're
must have
crying over there
Yeah.
about the poor orphans.
I know you must have gotten like some very soft-hearted imperialist or such.
They're not imperialists. They work at a company.
True, the
And they
corporate
just fix
corporate.
stuff. Yeah.
Sure. Leading
Think
heart
about
corporation.
the spin that your company could do with this
Yeah.
sheltering orphans.
Yes.
Now, look,
That poor security
Your
person
company's
sitting there.
responsible for these orphans being blind.
I was thinking this is just where we learned that the company has made a set of bombs called the blind orphans that actually are used in genocidal acts, but we don't actually know that.
Alabaster porcelain, stand by. Gaining authorization. Please stand by.
Blind.
And a couple seconds later, it comes back on.
Alice, by the way, I'm flying like we're injured.
Okay.
I can create a. I can start venting some of our engine coolant at the side. We've got plenty.
Ooh,
We can make
okay.
it look good.
You can make it look good. Okay, you guys are looking like you guys are in need of help. And so yeah, with them
We could
scanning-
even vent an orphan or two.
I told you to drop those off at the last part.
Well, I kept a couple in my chambers just in case, you know.
Jesse, we're not going there. Just
I don't know how you took that. That's not how I meant it.
okay. So, making it look good and all, the voice, a different voice comes on. Alpha 6 to Alabaster Porcelain. Alabaster Porcelain, come in.
This is Alabaster Porcelain.
Uh,
How can I help you?
Docking has been cleared on Dock 6. You will be greeted with assistance. Please beware, you will be on restricted territory, and you will have to submit to a full ship search.
Oh, this ain't good. Did we have any kind of plan for what to do once we actually got here, or
Good
did all
question.
of our preparations focus entirely on reaching this point?
That seemed to be the case.
Uh-oh.
The second option.
Uh-oh.
So, quick question. Jesse, did you get a gambit because she'd made you do a desperate roll, right?
He got an XP.
Yeah,
no.
I got it, but I also got a gambit.
Oh, yes,
Cool.
because you... Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't forget you got XP for the extra roll, the desperate roll. Okay. Yeah, you guys go dock. That was as you guys are docking, you guys go, wait, do we have a plan? So
Alice,
uh-huh.
do we see this ship?
Yeah, you see the space station that they are having you dock down into. Oh, the ship that you're supposed to jack? No, you don't see it. Not yet. Roll me. Let's see. Actually, roll me up. What would a scanner be? Would that be helm? Yeah, I believe that's helm. So roll me a helm roll, somebody. See if you guys can find it on your scanners.
It might be study. I don't know. I don't have study, but
You know,
Or school.
I would allow study. A lot of these skills, a lot of these attributes, I apologize. In this game, it's attributes. They do tell you a lot of them, you go with what you feel like will fit that
Cool.
situation. So, yeah, I would take study, but helm is the other one that I would take.
I got a 5.
You got a 5. Okay. So, yeah, you pick up a signature. You pick up several signatures, actually, that match what you guys were sent to retrieve. This ship that you were sent to retrieve. They haven't even been named yet, and they are being put together. They are on the far side of the dock, on the docking station. So you guys are being docked on 6, and they would basically be on the opposite side of the space station from where you guys are being docked.
So before we land, do we have an opportunity to discuss the orphans not being there when they search it?
We have
I
nothing.
thought you had some in your room.
Well, I think the plan is we let them on the ship. We knock them out, take the uniforms, and go about our business.
They do have those face concealing helms.
Then again, maybe a portion of the ship, maybe in a room that the orphans might have been in, got blown out, and unbeknownst to all of us, they got sucked out.
Or we could just say that part of the vessel's been heavily irradiated due to engine damage, and we would advise you wear special, very time-consuming equipment to inspect that portion of the ship.
So
Like, you're gonna have to go back and get your NBC gear. This whole cargo hold is just a It's dirtier than a pig in mud.
Dirtier
Oh.
than a pig.
Or we just knock them out and take their uniforms and tie them up somewhere.
So, by the way, since you guys mentioned that they're space wolves and their helmets cover their heads,
Space Wolves was not used as a name. I believe it was Star Wolves.
Sure,
It was
Star
on purpose.
Wolves. Sorry,
Purposely,
Star
I
Wolves.
did not use Space Wolves to.
Sorry, but with what you guys said, that's what I picture is their armor. I pictured space
Oh,
wolves.
they're like fursuits.
I pictured space marine suits. Okay. Well, so what is the story? As you guys,
Yeah, I mean, I think we gotta tell them that, part of the ship has been heavily irradiated due to engine damage, so you can inspect it, but you're gonna have to go back and get the right gear, because we are not liable according to our insurance provider.
okay. You guys dock in landing base 6. And
What landing bay do I think the one that I saw the stuff at is then? If we're gonna be 6,
you're
Wait, they're building multiples?
that's what all of a sudden we heard. Yes.
You pick up multiple signatures that match what you're looking for in theory. Yes, on your scanners. You're looking for the transwarp drive, the neosilicate condensers, and those you pick up multiple signatures. Which of them is closer to finishing or is ready to drive? That's a different situation here. So you think that they are on docking bays 1 through you're on 6, so we'll say 13 through 15. You pick up signatures from.
So if Jules' plan works and they got to go get the gear, I will endeavor to use a flashback.
Okay. Bum, bum.
If and only if.
If and
I can
only
dabble
if.
with techno babble.
Okay. Well, when you guys land, there is a contingent of Star Wolves, 4 men in big space marine-like armor with their helms and such covering their faces, and they've got their weapons queued up, looking, pointed at you guys as the back of your hull is opening, hold is opening to come out. And there is a small little impish, like a blue little gremlin, basically, except no, blue little gremlin that is sitting on one of their shoulders. And the little blue gremlin looks at you and it's like about 6 inches tall and says, welcome to City Alpha 6, Alabaster Porcelain, and it kind of looks quizzically at the name. That's an interesting points over at the Jabba with the dog, and interesting motif you have there.
Hey, thanks. Not a lot of people appreciate the biblical symbolism I worked into it.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to go with the eggshell porcelain, but
Please disembark and subject yourself to proper searches.
Oh, man, I gotta warn you first, though. Stay out of cargo hold, or rather, I'm gonna need you go back and fetch a level 1 hazard containment system and neutronium foam. We got a leak on the engine port after taking 1 hit from that pirate's vessel. Woo! It is a stinkhole in there.
And what of these orphans you are transporting?
well, they're kind of in that chamber, but you know how it is. You got to put your mask on first before you save the next person. We're not sure if they're even alive
Wait,
yet.
did they not? I'd assumed this was a coded thing.
Okay. Roll me some rolls. You are doing some technical mumbo jumbo, so I'm going to let you say you're using your hack to kind of, make that jargon, and Scoundrel can use his sway. And one of you rolls, the other one's assisting, if you guys want to assist. But only one of you's getting roll.
Why don't I assist?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll take a
that'll
stress.
put me in,
I am really gonna have to indulge my vice after this.
You and me both, sister. That'll
You're
put me
not
at
really
3.
playing Forge in the dark until your stress bar is nearly full and you're staring down your next trauma.
So
I'm doing it
rolled a-
right then, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
This, by the way, this is my
I-
first time running this game.
you're doing a good job.
Thanks. I hope so. I've only played a sister system of this, so I was reading and trying to catch up.
So I rolled a 1, 2, and a 6.
1, 2, and a 6. Well, the 6 is what matters. You're okay. They actually buy it. They buy it, and the little gremlin says, fetch me my level 1 containment suit. I'm going in there. And the 2 of them start going off, and 2 of them start searching you guys. Do you guys have any weapons and whatnot that you'd be carrying? I know that Kevin, you might be.
Well, me, yeah. Well, actually, I if they're searching me, if I know I'm going to be searched, I don't bother with. I would have the blaster pistol, but if they ask me to leave it, but
Okay, you would have Krieger.
yeah.
Okay.
I've changed the name to Sten. I like to make my own name.
Sten,
Something.
sure,
Sten.
no problem. You have Sten. And does anybody else carry any weapons?
I mean, I've got a blaster pistol, but it's not hidden.
Okay, they would attempt to confiscate your blaster pistols unless you guys have anything to say about it. This is a
well-
restricted area. The weapons are strictly forbidden.
Jethro would have tried to stash his weapons where he can grab them after a search. Kind of
Sure.
thing.
Why
Like,
don't you
he
roll me a
deals that-
skulk on that? We'll see how you
Okay,
do on
I
the
have-
skulk.
Am I able
I have
to help him hide that?
Yeah, you can do that.
I don't know how your skulk is, Jesse, but
It's 2.
I'm not bad at it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'd wanted to use a flashback, by the way, if that gambit worked.
Yes.
Or not
Well-
gambit.
We're gonna do
Well,
that.
actually, they're still trying to take our stuff, so I might be changing my mind. They just sent 4 of them.
They sent 4 of them right now. Yeah.
I mean, technically, honestly, Jethro would have told his pal, like, keep your girl there, a hidden way. They'll probably be searching us. I mean, it's kind of obvious with the security. I don't know if that would require a flashback or.
Okay. Why don't you guys see how well you roll on that skulk to hide stuff?
I got a
Right.
6 and a 1.
Okay, Brandon. Sure.
I show them where I hide my snack cakes, darn it. But
Wow.
I'm
where it
keeping
is.
the snack cakes.
Okay. You
And all
take
I
the-
got are repair tools and a laptop.
Okay.
And I got a 6, my high roll.
Okay. Well, on the risk, I started you guys at risky on this. On a 6, Brandon shows you where he hides his snack cakes, and they are very well hidden. So you guys can all hide your guns if you would like.
So is there enough room for all the guns that Kane owns?
I have a lot of snack cakes.
That's a lot of snack cakes.
Okay.
Come out, they search us, and they find like a ton of stack.
He owns
cakes.
they just
My-
own
my-
guns.
My pants are going to be like hammer pants, just loaded with snack cakes.
Yeah, because
instead.
exactly when you come out, there's gonna be you had to unload
Yeah,
all your snack cakes, Brandon.
They're gonna go through and find all of the typical places people hide, like illicit goods, and they're just
all
full
of
of
us.
snacks.
Yeah.
All of us have just like stack cakes.
So
Yep.
we determined that Stonewall is a 3-foot 3-inch lemur-like creature.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So after we're done,
It's Mercat, but yes.
after we're done this, Kane kind of ruffles behind his ears and goes, "Good work, Zubu. Good work."
So, would you like to do your flashback?
Well, yes, then I will. If so, they've taken our guns and they're leaving us. That's my question. Or they're inspect? Are they in here? My flashback determines I'm debating whether Kane attempts to knock them all out and just take their uniforms, or if not, I know mercenary life. I would have tried to get them beforehand so we were ready. So what was that?
They are
Are
going to
they-
they're going to board the ship. They put a little suit on the little gremlin, but everyone else seems like they don't change their outfits or anything. I get perhaps they already have containment suits in their big armors, but they put a little suit on the lemur on the gremlin, and then they start boarding your ship and one of them starts directing you and says, if you'll one of the armored men says, "If you'll come with me, we'll get you settled in."
Cool. At this point, then I don't need a flashback. We're they've delivered their suits right here. Is how I see it.
Okay.
I will push myself before I do this. Using my unstoppable, I can push myself to engage a small gang in close combat on equal footing.
Okay.
I will burn one of the ship's gambits, and those you definitely know, Jethro. You see the look. The switch has been flipped.
Yep. I know it's how I'm in, and I'm prepared for it.
So, what if anyone wants to come help me do this? If not, or just want to watch the fun.
Yeah. Well, Jethro's gonna jump in. He's gonna get in this.
And what about the other two? What are you guys doing?
I'm going to basically try and make myself unseen and perhaps jump in later on with Skulk.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've done it. One of the things we can do is you can just assist me, or if enough of us are doing this, we can attempt to lead a group action, which adds even more to our effect because we're all jumping them.
Yep. You want to do a group action, guys?
Sure, why not?
Okay. So what are the two of you doing, Crystal and Brandon? How are you adding to
Like I was saying, with Skulk basically to try and get one when I'm unseen and come at it from behind. So probably right after right after Kane starts up, come at them with one of Crystal's banners.
Okay. I'm going to set you guys as desperate because this is a all or nothing kind of gambit that you guys are dealing with.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, succeed or fail, yay, and experience and prowess.
Yep. Experience and proud. Okay. So, why don't you guys take that?
Crystal, you're muted.
I think Crystal's.
Sorry, I keep muting. I've got the loading bay rigged up with automatic doors and drawers and loadouts and things like that. So when one of them drops or walks by, I'm just going to have it eject a drawer into their faceplate.
Okay. So each of you for a group roll needs to make me a skill check based on the skill that you are going to be using to add to this group roll. One single check.
So I'll take the lead. So I'll lead any stress that's a problem for failure.
Right. You'll need to take stress. Okay.
And can I assist him with a stress point?
No, you cannot. This is a group roll. This works differently. You are going to make your own roll, and if you don't roll well enough, Kevin's going to take hit for you.
Yeah.
Oof.
Okay.
That's okay. I got some stress. I'm not that bad off for stress. I didn't burn a lot initially.
Okay.
I was saving it for the fighting.
Okay, so Crystal, you just explained what you were doing, so why don't you give me a skill roll that you feel would fit?
All right, rig seems appropriate.
Okay, Rick seems appropriate. You get
1.
You rolled a 1?
1-6.
Oh, 1-6. Okay, phew. So you're gonna get, because it was desperate, you're gonna get a point of XP and insight. And Brandon, why don't you go and you were
What you got, Crystal?
what?
What?
You got a 6.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
You got a 6. You're fine.
I need to know the 1 to 3s.
Yep, exactly. So Brandon, your roll.
So Skulk.
Skulk. I just picture that as he's skulking around and these people are just banging through the scene and searching, the snack cakes and snacks are just getting opened and thrown everywhere, and so there's confetti of food flying about the cabin.
I've got a 5 and a 1.
You've got a 5 and a 1. The 5 is what counts, so you're good, and Kevin's fine. Now, Jesse, what about you? What skill are you using to do what you're helping with?
So Jethro is using his scrap. He's getting into it along with his buddy battle buddy. Yeah, this reminds me of that time up on that asteroid when we were going at it, and I got myself a 5 and a 5. Yeah, 5.
Okay, a 5. You're fine. Kevin, you have taken no stress from them screwing up yet, so you're taking your action.
And I'm on a 3 dice. I'm at top is a 6.
Okay, so you guys have the 6 for the group success at that point. And yeah, so describe as the lead, how do you deal with all 4 of these guys, especially the guy that stood outside and said, that he was about to lead you guys out. So describe the scene to me on how you guys took it over.
Okay, so and I think we get to use like each 6. So I think I get an extra. I think mine and Crystal 6 lock up for a crit if I remember correctly. It's been a while.
You each make an action roll, but the team counts the single best result.
Okay.
Single best result.
So we're on a success. We're a full group. Plus, I'm basically adding effect because
Yes.
I'm.
You guys
I'm
would
I'm
be
like a,
at 3 ticks.
yeah, I'm like a group by myself now. I'm like a small gang myself. So the distractions happen. I see Jules do the thing. Skulks around, and I turn, and we've been in combat before. So that slight nod with Jethro. And I grab the guy that's going to go out like, and put him down as I'm putting, again, dropping down, putting the leg behind another guy that, Jethro does his thing too.
Okay. And
So quickly, as quietly as possible. If we can have them knocked out, I'm not trying to kill them, just knock them out.
okay.
And we slap a mason jar over the little gremlin.
Yep.
Okay, mason jar over the
That
little
fell
gremlin.
out of a top drawer and right on top of them. And it was magnetic, so it's still to the floor and you can't get out.
Look, we got you a mascot, Stonewall.
It is
Now, you
banging
might
up against that
wanna-
mason jar.
Yeah, might want to poke some holes in the lid just to make sure it don't suffocate, unless, of course, we want it to suffocate, in which case, well...
You're right.
Okay.
You're not stabbing him, are you?
No.
Okay. Well, I pictured that it was magnetized to the hull, and the hull has grid, the grids, and therefore
Yeah.
he could, breathe through that. Okay. Well, so you guys capture and change into their suits, and you guys head off your ship. You guys have...
So what gear do they typically carry?
They typically carry, I imagine Space Marine style armors, and so they have these big rifles, and they have big hulking pieces of armor that are really, really stumbly and not very stealthy, not very comfortable.
So I would think this is where we're setting our load, which would go normal. So we could go normal and look like we belong. And I would just everyone take armor since we have it.
You guys go set low to normal.
I'm gonna, yeah.
And you guys now need to figure out what else you guys are gonna take with you.
Oh, I'm gonna leave my blaster pistol behind. All right. Yeah, gonna leave my blaster pistol behind, but carry spy gear.
Ooh, spy gear. Okay.
Seems appropriate.
I always got Sten, but you guys want me to bring something a little more impressive?
You go right ahead, take that thing that you like taking with you all the time. I ain't got a mind.
Which one do you mean? Do you mean Sally, my flamethrower? And I'll just steal from it because it's on the book. Or Vera, my rifle?
Which one do you love most, sir?
Well, we're trying to blend in. What are were these guys packing anything really heavy, or was it just sidearms?
These guys would be packing some heavy machine gun, some heavy artillery.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Jethro just pats the heavy machine gun and says, "This one here you can name after me, Mr. Aberdeen."
Okay.
That little gremlin is like banging. And then the gremlin seems to realize something, and as you guys are leaving the ship with their stuff, it taps something on its chest.
Oh no! Stop it!
Yes.
How do you guys want to stop him?
Can I? Oh, I don't know. What would our great and mighty Mr. Muscle do?
I'm just gonna grab
Like,
him.
just
He can't
like
do
step-
anything.
Okay.
Just step on it to stop.
Mason jar up, grab him, and shut him up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we stripped the others down, but we put him in there with gear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
we take his teeny tiny communicator away from him.
Okay, you take his stuff off of him, and then you put him back under the jar. He's
I'll
all
just
naked
hold him
now.
up real close. I'll hold him up close. You'll note I did not kill any of your friends. That can change if you don't behave.
Now, sir, I would
keys on your hand.
advise you
Oh,
that this man speaks seriously, and he is much too big for me to stop. So
Peeing on
you
my
might
hand,
want to
that's-
keep that in mind.
Out of fear. Yep.
what is
He's
with
intimidated.
tiny aliens and peeing
I was
on
thinking the same thing. That's Stonewall.
I'm not
move.
tiny. I'm right-sized. You're all giants.
I'm 5'2".
Ah, That's about a little under 2 feet too tall.
Jethro
Holy
just
fuck.
kind of like touches his head and it pulls his cowboy hat, or he doesn't. He's just like he's hiding his face as he's laughing because he doesn't want to know people. He doesn't want to know anybody else thinks that the exchange there is cracking him up.
Okay. So
And Kane's actually only 6'2". He's not this giant, muscle-bound, terrifying man. He's only 6'2".
he's only 6'2". Well, you're
Jethro's
actually
like
he'd be an
5'8".
inch shorter than Brandon, so
Yeah, or the same height as me. So, you
okay.
know, he's just not 53 years old and out of shape. He's like he's like a Navy
He's
SEAL.
Arnold. Arnold. Got it.
I suppose that Jethro that's like 5'8". So yeah, you're all
Okay. So you guys shove him back under completely naked, and he peed on your hand out of fear, out of your intimidation, and you guys head off. And you guys have his teeny tiny little communicator now too.
Also, is that urine any kind of irritant? Is that something that's going to cause anaphylaxis in a humanoid?
Let's roll and see. Let's see.
I wasn't.
No, I love it.
Kevin, roll me a d6. Just roll me a straight d6.
3.
Yes, it is. Not quite anaphylaxis, but it's certainly an irritant, and it's certainly making him hive up from the arm up, hand and moving up his arm.
Didn't he have his armor on when he grabbed him?
Nah, I don't think so. I like this. I rolled it. We'll eat it.
Great. Okay.
Now you guys have your hand is itching, and you put your glove on. You know, you're putting the last bit of that enemy armor on the armor on that they have, and then you guys head out. Where are you guys going at this point?
Honest, Alice, under harm, I'm writing itchy.
I love it. I love it.
But I will apply it. Like, itchy wouldn't affect me in a fight, but if I have to do some fine work, I'm going to lessen the effect.
Awesome. I love it. That's awesome.
Because to me, that is in fact harm.
Yep.
God, stupid.
Stupid itchy.
All right, let's mosey into the server room. I'll try to scare us up some more details on what they've been manufacturing and what we can make off with.
Okay.
I like the way you think, Jules. I like the way you think.
So, you guys are going to be skulking down because you guys are in armor and you guys are, trying to blend in. I'd like a little bit of a description of how you guys think you're blending in because, I'm just curious. Are you guys leaning back? Are you guys being, soldiers? What?
I think it's a good idea for us to act out how we acted in the military when we were doing details like this, and maybe all that stuff on that short little fellow we stole, we should put on our short little friend pilot here, since he probably won't fit into one of these armor.
Oh no, he won't.
Yeah, I was thinking that I'm literally trying to go shadows, stick with the group and all, but try and keep myself somewhat hidden.
Okay, you're basically hiding behind the legs of the armor as they're passing by people.
Yeah, for Ken,
or other things.
Or other things.
Yeah, for Ken, it's like sliding back into a warm, comfortable bath. He knows this life.
So why don't you at that point roll me a team skulk? This seems like a, so whoever's going to lead the skulk action, and this is just going to be at risk, not desperate. We're going to set this at risk.
I got 1 dice for skulking.
I'm 2.
I'm 2.
Okay.
I actually have a die for skulking, too.
I got 0 dice for skulking, but I think that means we lower the quality for a team skulk, or I don't know.
I think so, yeah. That sounds right.
Well,
I think you still get the roll die
So
number.
you're all looking very professional, and I keep getting distracted.
It's still based off of what you actually rolled.
Yeah.
By the way,
So
who was your skulk lead?
It's Jesse or I.
Yeah.
I'll go. I rolled a 6 and a 2.
Okay, if you're gonna take the lead, Jesse, that's fine. So Jesse's gonna be lead. What was your role on your action?
I think I just did a quick check. I think what happens for Jules is that she basically auto fails, but we're carrying her, so she's an auto stress for poor Jesse.
Yeah.
She only
So
has one die?
it's basically Jethro, and then it's gonna be Crystal, and then right behind her, trying to help her figure it out is going to be.
Yeah, I
No,
believe
no.
that. I believe that I basically adjust effect level because she only has one die.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right here. So at that point, I guess you go from risky to desperate because she sucks so bad, but she still gets the roll.
Okay. Okay. I couldn't remember.
And I know exactly what happens. We are marching along, trying to look very, very professional, like we belong. We pass by an open door, inside of which is the training room with a bunch of like muscular people doing chin-ups and stretches, and she just stands there and
And I thought you were gonna go with fancy power conduits.
Oh, nope. I'm sorry. I set up something different. Yeah, actually, I just read all of lead group action again. Everybody gets that roll. If
Okay,
they can
cool.
roll it. If they don't roll, if they have 0 dice and don't roll, that's something different. Then we have to deal with issues. But she has 1 die, so she gets to roll it.
No, she's got
No,
0.
I have
Oh, she's got
zero.
0? Oh, then yes. Then you guys are a little bit screwed. Okay.
Oh.
So yes, they're carrying you.
Yeah.
So at that point, if you don't roll, your character doesn't get the effects of the action. Your character doesn't have to be especially skilled. Cool. Yep. So you basically they have to carry you completely on this and have to succeed. You don't get so Jesse, you got a 6. Brandon, what was yours?
I got a 6.
You got a 6. Kevin, what about you?
A 4.
You got a 4. Okay. So
And Crystal got a rock.
Crystal got a rock. And Crystal, you were describing that you guys are passing by a gym. Please continue.
I think you mean rock hard abs.
you're like,
And you finished with that as you see those rock hard abs. And they
I guess I can't get my fingers in with the
but
faceplate.
but you go woo, something like that. You're suddenly a woohoo girl, right?
Long appreciative, like I cannot whistle today. I don't know what's up.
I can't whistle
Thank
any
you.
day.
Yeah. None of us can whistle.
I whistled, see? Now I can't.
See?
We're
Well, this went off the rails.
That's what I was.
So-
We're gonna be in Mechanics Gone Wild 3.
So yeah. Crystal whistles, and at that point a bunch of them look out to you guys, and several of them start grabbing their gear and they start moving towards you, Kevin, and Crystal. They don't seem so friendly, like, all of a sudden, and some of the people that you're walking through the hallway with, one of them turns and says, you're not that your unit's supposed to be in level 5 sector 6. What are you doing here?
Somebody's gonna have to explain this away. Who wouldn't me?
I don't think you want me because I'm hiding and I'm horrible. So Jesse,
Sector 6, level 5. Why is your contingent AWOL?
Clearly, you discovered somebody on the team was drunk on duty and are reporting her to.
Do I notice any rank insignias or anything that might tip Jethro off as to what
Sure.
level they play in the organization?
This contingent of 4 guys, the guy that's speaking with you in the lead, you can try and roll me something to figure that out. I would say that would be command. Roll command or attune. Yeah.
Okay.
See what you can figure out.
Oh, I don't have any of those.
study.
I
Study?
will.
I'll let you do study.
Actually,
have
okay.
if you want me to do it. I have
Okay,
to.
so,
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I am
if you
a one-time
step in,
soldier.
step in. You see, you've dealt with failing commands much more than Jethro has. He's just been sort of a
So
Do we still
Kevin.
have gambits?
Yep, you still have 2 gambits on the ship. Actually, I think you guys are up to 3.
You guys
yeah,
okay
'cause
if I burn a gambit?
that
Oh, please.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep some stress in case I actually have to fight them when I fail.
Yep.
So I will go up to 2 command then from 1.
Okay. Sure.
and it'll be we got new orders. Look, the new girl here, because she's still in the uniform. The new girl, she just want to come down and see some of the eye candy. Like, you boys don't gotta look out when they're doing their thing. We're soldiers, not robots, you morons.
Okay.
And I got a 4 and a 1, so a 4.
4. Well, you got new orders now. You 4 report to the Sector 1 latrines duty. Punishment.
It's okay. Hey, it was worth it, right, kid? Come on.
And as you guys start moving away, one of them turns back and looks at your, looks and shakes his head, goes, Sarge, I swear they had some furry nutball with them. And,
Only 4 furry nipples.
Hey, what did you say about my nutballs?
What did you say about my nipples?
and then the sergeant turns around and says again, just in case you get lost, we'll escort you down to your new duties.
Sergeant, it's all right. My friend here, he's had a little bit too many of those caffeinated drink things. He don't mean nothing by it. We all know there's about 4 hairy nut balls and 2 hairy nipples here. There's no offense. We're on our way. We will apply the razors appropriately. Can I do my sway?
Yes, it's the game, Alice. It's not the people playing it.
Okay.
This never happens when we're on camera together.
Oh yeah, never, right? So okay, fine. It happens all the time. For anybody who's actually watching us, it happens all the time. Still, phrasing. Got it. Lala needs to be better about phrasing.
So do I have to roll my sway for that, or are we good to?
Well, they're gonna start escorting you guys, and you're trying to talk them out of it. I'll let you do that. Yes. Go ahead and roll it. But I will warn you, you are at this point on a desperate action start on the chart because he got a 4 and they realized basically as they were leaving that they should escort you so you didn't get lost again off your new duty. So if you mess this up, it could make things a whole lot worse, or you can just take it and get escorted to your latrine duty and then figure out an out from there. Giving you a choice.
No, I think at this point, a path of non-resistance is best until we get our bearings.
Okay.
So let's be escort.
Let them escort you. Okay. So you guys are going to be escorted.
There's lots of them.
Okay. So you guys going to be escorted down to the what's the term? I forget the word, but basically the
shitter.
Well, no, the basically the unwanted part of the ship, but the spaceship.
The latrine.
Yes, and you guys are going to be taken to the latrines and the sewage, processing plant area and left there. And you guys are pointed to basically hazmat type suits to change into rather than the armors that you guys have. You guys are being, because the armors you guys are wearing aren't going to do too well down in the where you guys are supposed to work now.
This would actually be to our benefit.
Possibly.
Being down in operations.
And they will leave you after pointing out, go change into your new uniform, and you are going to be, and the sergeant will say, and you will be on this duty for 7 days. Okay. And they will leave you.
And that's why we do not be goggling the abs of the gentlemen working out.
All of a sudden, it's like he's Adam Sandler from Waterboy.
I know.
Now, in my defense, I also ogled the abs of the women working out, and I do believe the one in the corner was non-binary.
Is this what we call ableist? Being an ableist? Okay, yeah, that joke fell flat.
That did. I'm sorry, Jesse. That just went whoosh. Okay, so you guys now on latrine duty. You guys have operation suits, the blue collar, terrible, blue collar body suits that you guys have to wear. to go
all
into
fiber
storage in the
conduits run through here. This is perfect.
Awesome. So, what is your guys' new plan? Working from
For
the
that
operations.
smell.
You guys are now maintenance crew for 7 days
And-
of punishment.
And how far do we think that we are from where I was spotting them building these things?
Um,
I mean,
well, you guys need to get your bearings a little bit at this point.
Are we able to find a map or layout of the maintenance schedule and where things are at to get
I
a better
mean-
feel for?
this all here's gonna run like a gopher nest throughout half the ship. We'll be able to get just about anywhere without nobody seeing us.
Fair enough. So you just have to get your bearings a little bit. So why don't you guys see? And yeah, I would say you guys can find a control panel and get some of that information you're looking for. But you guys are gonna have to roll a study to try and operate that panel and get an idea. This is just gonna start at a
Not to
risk.
hack?
Hack. Hack is very true. You are hacking into their system. Thank you for
I
calling.
have fine hacking tools.
Awesome. Go for it. You're hacking their.
Anybody gonna assist?
Would my small Urbot be able to aid her?
Did you bring your small Urbot?
Of course I did.
Okay.
I've been hiding anyways.
Okay. Your Urbot
I have
will
a
be able to
small-
assist her.
I have a small drone, but it's non-sentient and probably can't do much.
Your
But she
Urbot-
carries things for me.
That's helpful. Your Urbot can help.
Cool.
So you'll increase the effect. So, Crystal.
And it's also fine, which I think increases the effect again or something in the comparison, or I don't understand potency and such like that.
It's a little awkward on that. I have to check. Kevin, I don't know what the fine property does. Do you?
Again, it'll just it gives them an increased effect, right? So
Okay,
if you're
it
moving
does. Cool.
it moves it farther.
But it doesn't give an. Okay, so cool. It is just the extra effect. Awesome.
Any
Then that's
devil's
easy.
bargains you want to offer me?
Yeah. Let me go look at the list of Devil's Bargain options.
And by the way, as players, we can chime in on this. So if anyone has an
Yes.
idea for Devil's Bargain for hacking away here,
Yes, you can.
So how does Devil's Bargain work?
So Devil's Bargain is when a PC or the GM says you can get two additional dice, but in exchange something bad is going to have to be countered. So examples are collateral damage and unintended harm, sacrifice cred or money or items that are on your team, betray a friend or loved one, offend or anger a faction, start or tick a troublesome clock, add heat to the crew from evidence or witnesses, and suffer harm. So
I've got one if you want to hear it.
Sure, go for it. I have a backup if they reject.
Yeah,
It seems
got
in
one as
character,
well.
but we're a bunch of cocksure idiots. I think as Jewel is hacking this, she already puts her calling card in there.
Yep. So you're gonna add
That
heat.
can be found, and it can add heat, and you can start a clock that if we don't find this before your clock ticks down, the alarm gets raised.
I love it. I
right.
was already thinking of heat and similar. So that I love, and I already
Pretty
know
close to
how
what I
long. So go ahead and roll it. Oh, sorry.
So
go ahead.
that's succeed or fail. That happens.
All right. Anybody mind if I spend a gambit on this?
Go to town.
Go right ahead.
You guys are now down
If I
to
was
one gambit left
able
on the
to
ship.
fix you, I would, but Kane is not good with computers. He has hacking skills, but they hack different things like limbs.
1 6, 2 5s.
1625s. Okay. Make it. You find what you're looking for. I also know how many ticks you guys have before you guys go. You guys lose. So
And now, Alice, you can use, as you know, you can use those ticks when something bad happens. Tick the
Yeah.
clock,
mhm.
clock.
And we have 2 fine qualities on that, so the
Yep.
hacking results are going to be fine.
Oh yeah, you get exactly where you need to go at this point. And it actually, because they were so fine, I actually gave you guys a little more time on the ticking clock than otherwise. It was going to be, so a little more time. I won't tell you the time because that's my little thing. So timer has started. You left your little calling card. You know where you're supposed to go. You have the information. What you guys find is that they were in the process of building 3 ships, and there's one that's nearly completed. There's another one that might run, and there's one that's nowhere near ready to run. So you're
Well,
heading
I'll
to
be-
docking bay 13 for the one that's closest to being ready.
Oh, well, bless their hearts.
So, how are you guys going to get there? Are you guys going to go through the sewage and treatment and such, or are you guys going to go another way?
I think that we were all for that sewage route.
We've got NBC suits.
Yeah.
Hey,
We're gonna use, what do they call them in Star Trek? I'm blanking now, and I know my stuff normally. You know,
Yeah.
all the little crawl spaces and causeways. We're going in there.
Jeffrey's tubes.
Jeffrey tubes.
Jeffrey tubes. Thank you.
Except
I'm
they're full of
ashamed.
poop.
Publicly shamed.
Okay. So you guys are going to use their version of Jeffrey tubes, and you're going to start moving through. Sure. Why don't you?
Now, I'm fixing to blow up a storm, so we might want to get moving.
Yeah. I would like to know at this point, what skill would it be for navigation to like figure out true north and all? It seems to me that would be a
To
tune.
find true north, that's got to be like a consort or a sway to locate the Vandalists.
I think
Or
that
a
would be a
tune.
tune.
It'd be like a study or
Yeah, study or a
maybe
tune to get her
help.
done.
That's
Yeah.
navigation.
Or a
Study
tune.
or a tune. Yeah. I think I'll let you guys roll a study or a tune to see if you guys can find your way, because it's one thing when you guys are on, outside in the decks and such and looking at the plans, but it's another thing when you're trying to crawl through tubes. So, somebody roll me a study or a tune to try and get your
Not a-
bearings.
I got
Not a-
one study.
It's way
So-
more than I have in either.
Does the hacking provide with the like blueprints of the layout? Does that provide some?
Is my droid able to help by keeping the map and as we're turning and such?
The droid can help, and yeah, the map definitely can help. I'll give you a die for using one or the other, but I won't give you 2 dice for both.
All right.
Oh yeah, the
Let's-
droid basically can project the map and
Yep,
such. and,
exactly.
It looks like a combination of Help Me Obi-Wan Kenobi and the motion sensors and aliens.
Jedi Fallen Order.
Sounds good.
1-6.
1-6. You guys are rolling well. I was looking forward to turning you
I-
around.
Yeah, I have no idea how that came out because I only rolled 2 dice.
Nice. So you guys are able to find your way through the Jeffrey tube to Bay 13, and in Bay 13 there is a hustle and bustle in here. There are crews working like crazy trying to put the finishing touches. This bay is filled with people. There's also cargo that's also getting loaded and such like that. There's big pallets of saran wrapped boxes and crates of things. They're just completely covered, and they're taking a forklift and putting it in, or the space version of a forklift, an anti-grav delivery system into the cargo hold and stacking them. The ship itself, why don't one of you describe the ship itself that you guys are here for?
Oh, it's prettier and a hen on sales day. No, prettier and a sow on fair day.
Awesome. So this is apparently a gorgeous ship, and it looks a bit like a cow.
Sow's a pig.
Oh, sorry. Sure, it looks a bit like a pig. I'm sorry. So it looks a bit like a pig. Now I really just pictured a pig, a pig spaceship. Okay, it's got the ship's got a nice little
the
snout to it.
Razorback. Oh no,
Razorback.
wait, we're flying the Razorback, aren't we?
No, you're flying the Adamant Venture. So
Okay.
yeah. So you guys this can be named the Razorback. Sure.
It's got that silicate plating that it's perfect for distributing a warp field evenly across the exterior surface. So it's got this gorgeous shine to it that has sort of an oil slick appearance, and
Yeah. That neosilicate and the neosilicate condensers must be, allowing it to project some nice little anti-grav system, and just beautiful. That sheen of the silicate is awesome. So you guys are in a room. You guys look down from your from up top where you guys are in the Jeffries tube, look down, and you see the room is filled with soldiers, filled with people. What do you guys do?
Are
That's a
the
fine question.
are these maintained separate from space?
How? You guys are in basically a Star Trek docking bay, is the way I see it. So there's a force field that, there's the bay opens and there's a force field, but you guys are inside the station right now.
And how many ships are in the bay?
This bay has 2 ships.
What's the other ship?
The other ship would be a small little fighter jet, basically. A fighting ship with, just space for 2 people. Pilot and someone else. A little fighter.
How big is the bay itself?
The bay itself would be about the size of 1 football field.
Because all of us are sports fans and know exactly how big a football field is.
Oh, I don't even know. I'm not even a sports fan, but I have a general idea of what a big football field size is.
I mean, it's football field sized.
Yeah, exactly. It's football. It's big. We'll say big. How's that?
Bigger than a basketball field.
Yep, exactly. Big.
It's 65-foot squares.
There we go.
Just
65-foot
from
squares.
end to end.
A normal sized person would look like a thumbnail. Basically, at that distance.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you guys do?
I don't think they look like thumbnails. I still think they look like people. Just small people.
Small thumb
Now,
sized people.
Now, if I had my druthers, I'd get us loaded onto that there ship. Then I'd create some kind of disaster in one of the other bays that required everybody to show up there on account of, let's say some undisreputable sorts trying to make off with that ship.
Okay.
Since we've been walking around in all this sewage, I imagine it might be fun to include some of that stench into this mess.
Okay.
Hey, we only got to steal one of these ships, right?
Yep.
Your
I
job
like
is
to
to
They're
steal.
we get on the ship, then we create a distraction.
Okay, so how do you get on the ship with all these people?
Or we create the distraction first.
Okay, what kind of distraction are you guys gonna go for?
Do people seem to be going onto the ship itself? Or are they working on the exteriors?
They definitely seem to be going on the ship in and out because, like I said, cargo is being actively loaded onto the ship. So there's at least people in the cargo hold.
Well, why? You can get very far with a clipboard and a smile. If we can get somebody over here, get some of their clothes, a clipboard and a smile might get us on board.
That creek don't rise, son.
What creek does rise is a sewage leak right into the bay area that floods the place out and gets everybody right.
You guys want to try that?
People hate poop.
I mean, we could, certainly do that. Jules, you think you could rig some kind of fake coolant leak or something that would cause it to be evacuated, and we can come in these enviro suits to investigate?
I couldn't really rig a fake coolant leak. I could rig a real one.
There you go. I like the sound of that.
It's real hard to rig a fake coolant leak.
So where are you going to rig that coolant leak?
We'll
add some sewage because Jethro likes sewage, I hear.
I heard that.
We've been crawling around it for so long, I figure why not? Spread the...
Now this isn't going to be laid out like hegemony base, so that means corporate contractors. That means lowest bidder, which means they are doubling up on transit pipe space. I'm betting they alternate when they're flowing ventilation gases and when they're flowing coolant gases. That's the most inexpensive way to manage it. So if I can tinker with the schedule here, I can start injecting coolant into the normal air recyclers.
Okay. where are you going to go and do that? Are you guys going to backtrack, or are you guys going to try and change out of the clothes you guys are in and try and, do it from this room itself?
Well, I think we're up in the Jeffries tubes. There's going to be access ports and all that everywhere.
fair.
I just need to plug my hacking rig in and
Go for it. Go for it.
see if we can't arrange a little bit of sewage in there too, for Jeff or Jethro.
Sure, a little sewage overflowing in one of the other bays. Sounds good. So why don't you roll me your hacking roll?
All
We
right.
have one gambit left on the ship, and if you'd like to use it. And you know what? I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain, unless anybody else would like to offer one first.
I'm amenable to your dealings.
Sure. I'm going to say that in order to maintain this hack, you're going to need something on the console while you guys keep moving on. So you're going to have to sacrifice your drone. Your
Not
drone is going
Orby.
to have to stay here to continue to maintain and play with the algorithm so that it can.
But out of character, she's this adorable orb with like a little manatee face on the front and little flippers on the side.
Oh, now I feel bad. Not bad enough to
Alice
take
just
withdrawal.
wants to kill the drone.
No. Now I feel
Why does
bad.
Alice hate manatees?
You're not forced to accept the bargain.
You don't have to. Yeah, you can say I will not take the 2 dice and roll it.
Alice wouldn't take the 2 dice. She'd never be able to make that sacrifice, no matter how much she hates drones.
I'm not going to take the sacrifice.
Okay, you will not take the devil's bargain. This is. I'm supposed to make it feel that way. I'm supposed to make it, right, Kevin? I'm supposed to make it hurt like that.
It's called the devil's bargain.
Yep.
It's the drone is completely useless, but it's cute.
I know. So you will
It
not
hasn't even come up in the story.
Okay.
Calamity.
Oh, it got a 3.
Oh. Okay. You set off. So you start setting off the coolant, and you also set off an alarm system. Good news on that alarm system is that nobody knows where this is right now. They haven't pinpointed you, but there's certainly an alarm system, an intruder system, and things seem to be going into lockdown at this point. So the bay door is starting to close, and it definitely seems to be slow on that close.
Well, there's an alarm, there's confusion. Move.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get ourselves in there in the confusion.
Okay.
Let's do what we do.
I've
Kane.
said my piece. Anybody else care to contribute?
It's not why you bring me on these missions to do that stuff. That's
Okay.
not why.
Yeah.
So
Jethro just gives Kane a look, and it's time to take action.
okay, you guys jump out of the Jeffrey tube while people are starting to scurry about and they're trying to go into lockdown mode. Seems like a bunch of them when you guys go into lockdown mode, a bunch of them have to go to their designated, positions and such for accountability and such. This is like red alert, right? Everybody to their stations kind of thing. But in this case, it's intruder alert, a security compromised alert going out, and you guys start running for that ship, and the door is starting to close slowly. Why don't you guys describe to me what you are doing in this scramble as some people are leaving and such like that?
Well, heading in there looking like we got a purpose to be going in there. Like
Exactly.
like we're running like we're running for the ship because we have to do something with the ship. In confusion, if you walk around like you're supposed to be there, people assume you're supposed to be there.
Did you?
Yeah, we
are you
are
guys
dressed in.
We're not running. We're walking with a purpose.
okay?
Like
Yes.
we're going straight for it, and we're supposed to go.
And Crystal, what were you saying?
I was going to say we are dressed in emergency response gear.
We are.
You are dressed in the maintenance crew emergency response gear. True, very true. Okay, why don't you guys roll me? This would be skulk because this would be blending in with the environment, with what you're dealing with. So I want a skulk from you guys, and I would say I would tick this as desperate because you guys things are getting worse as you guys are heading into the situation. So I'm setting it desperate. I'm tempted to set this as another group role just because you all need to be
We
moving.
have to, or Jules fails. We have to carry her.
Yeah. So you
We've
guys
got
have
Um,
for carrying Jules.
So Alice, so after we set the alarm off, they're trying to close the bay off.
Yes, they're trying to close the bay off.
I want to ditch the group and go for basically the emergency vent, the bay.
Absolutely can. So you guys will not be entering a group role because you guys are splitting your actions. So why don't we go with Brandon's action first because that sounds like it might affect the rest of you. Brandon, go and do that. What are you trying to do when you hit that panel?
I am trying to basically keep the doors open because if you, it's the vent space, but because of that atmosphere is going to quickly leave this environment, so we're all going to need to get onto that ship and get the heck out of here pretty fast.
Yep. So why don't you hit me? Why don't you make me a rig roll? This is a rig, not a hack.
Cool. Well, good because I don't have hack.
Cool.
And if, me watching Aliens way too many times as a child tells me, there are very simple things that you hit to accomplish this. So,
The red button.
Can I stress myself to?
Yes, you can absolutely stress yourself to do
so
this. This is
what
also
the heck
going to
does
be
that do?
So you take 2 stress, we'll give you 1 die. And
Okay, when I assisted earlier, was I supposed to take 2 stress, or is that just
when
one
you
stress?
when you assist somebody else, yeah. Whenever you assist somebody else, you only spend 1. So it's easier to assist than it is to do it yourself.
And what do I get for the stress? Is it a bonus die?
1 bonus die, yes.
Cool.
1 straight up bonus die. You guys, I believe, have 1 gambit left on the ship if you guys want to spend that last gambit. And Brandon, before you roll,
Okay.
I'm going to offer you, unless somebody else has a devil's bargain, but I'm going to offer you a devil's bargain here. If you want, well, hold on. Does anybody else have one that they want to do?
No, you go.
Okay. You're going to do this, and there's going to be collateral damage. Some people will be vented out of the airlock as a result of your action. Are you okay with that?
Like some of us is what you're saying, or like
some of the people here that are not, necessarily bad guys and such like that. And it's possible that
they're all bad guys. They're working for the bad people.
Okay. So you are willing to take this collateral damage.
This devil's bargain is I just have to kill some people, but mine was I have to abandon an adorable robot?
Well, his unintended harm and collateral damage also means that your ship might, the part of that collateral damage means that the ship that you guys are stealing might be damaged and you might not be able to get away as cleanly as you'd like. And also your bot might get sucked out. Basically, it's collateral damage, unintended harm. So it's going to be some of those things, or depending on how you roll.
In an ongoing situation, when you kill people during a job, that adds heat. So far, we've avoided that.
Yeah, that will add heat as well if you kill people.
Another gamble still here would be like if you're able to do something that causes this vacuum, you would be harmed by that.
One quick thing, Jesse, only 1 can be offered per the roll.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I offered you guys, because only one devil's bargain can be made.
Okay.
So if you are willing to take collateral damage and unintended harm of possibly losing your bot or damage to the ship or people flying out the airlock or all 3, you can take 2 dice.
That's the benefit of the devil's bargain, is that you get more dice?
Yes, you get 2 dice whenever you take a devil's bargain.
I'm good with 3 dice.
Okay. Not taking a devil's bargain.
I don't really mind if some of them get blown out the airlock,
but his bot.
I got 6.
You got
631.
631. Okay. So yeah, so the force field system goes down and the gate is staying up. The bunker door is staying up, but the force field is starting to dissipate and air is starting to vent out. So you guys have very short amount of time. So jumping to you guys, what are you guys doing as you see basically people, as you guys see that this air is getting vented out of the lock?
Well, I think now that the air's leaving, it's become a scramble to get on that ship.
Ooh.
This
Yeah.
isn't being quiet. This is hauling ass.
Okay, so haul. So at this point, what would a speed check be? I wonder. Scramble, scramble. I guess.
That's a scramble. Yeah.
Yeah. Scramble's
Everybody
supposed
got
to be used for when you're doing ship-to-ship combat, but we'll do it for
No,
this.
scramble? That's
that's
like
helm.
climbing and jumping and
Yeah,
such like
sorry.
that.
Yeah, that's true. Helm is the ship-to-ship combat. So scramble. Roll me your.
A 5 and a 4.
Ooh,
Can I-
okay.
Can I take a stress for more die?
You can take
You
2
can
stress
take
for
stress
1
for
die.
it. Which is
I
what
got a
I'm
6.
Okay.
I'm on a 5. 5 and a 2.
Okay. And Jesse,
I
what about you?
rolled a 6 and a 4. So
Okay, 6 and a 4. So this is kind of the scene that's unveiling at this point. Your pilot, after hitting that button, jumps into the ship, and the scoundrel jumps into the ship, and then the two of you guys are heading there as some of the people, as some of the soldiers here that are leaving the bay notice that you clearly shouldn't be there. And they turn around and they shoot off a couple rounds at you guys. Nothing hits the two of you at this point, but you two are basically at the end of the landing gears and about to run up into the ship. What is your reaction on the two of you?
Oof. I mean, duck and keep running.
Duck and keep
They're
running.
shooting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, mine is more like literally, and it's going to be an apology. Get Jules on the ship.
Uh-huh.
I'll make a jump myself.
Okay, so you're gonna grab her and toss her on the ship, and
Basically, if there's gunfire, I'm putting my body between the gunfire and Jules.
okay, sure. So Jules, are you gonna let him throw you, pick you up and throw you?
I assume this is not the first occurrence of this event.
I just picture the manatee going wee. Okay, so the manatee goes with you. Wee.
It helps me occasionally fix my guns. It's
Mm.
very important to me.
Okay,
Occasionally.
and so why don't you roll me your well, let's see. I would say this is your scrap, Kevin, to
Okay.
try and basically, physically throw her in and basically try and run after her while trying to dodge and take cover and such like that. And so there's laser fire coming at you guys. Two of you are on the ship. Brandon's prepping the engines, getting things, prepping the helm and getting things started. Brandon, why don't you roll me a helm check to see if you can actually figure out how to run this thing?
Would you consider this a fight, Alice, or not?
Yes, fine.
I'm going to burn my special armor then, using my Battleborn ability,
Okay.
for functioning for a free push from the special armor because I took Battleborn.
Nice.
There it is. The double sixes for the crit.
Ooh, okay. So you don't even get you just toss her in and you're like, psh, they're like they're like stormtroopers. They can't hit anything. And you go in and you just close the bay door.
I think to make it more gentle, if it's okay.
Sure,
then I will
go
check. I put Jules over my shoulder,
Uh-huh.
left it, and carefully put her down. Sorry,
Okay.
Jules.
You just have so much confidence that these guys won't hit you because you're looking at the way that they're shooting, and clearly the venting of the airlock is messing with their aim, and you're like, whatever, let's just go a little faster. And you pick her up, go in, you close the door. Brandon's gonna roll me a helm, and Mr. Scoundrel, what are you doing right now?
Well, I was looking out the portal to see them coming and trying to help out, but seeing that my buddy there had it all well prepared, I go and fix myself a drink.
Okay, you go.
I don't
and-
know if they have a loaded wet bar on here yet.
Yeah, they don't have a loaded wet bar.
No, but basically, when I was playing, like I was gonna assist in that and spin a stress, but he rolled that. I'm like, okay, well, nope, there's no help, so I don't know how to run a ship. I'll just like I'll make sure they're okay.
Okay, so
I
you're
just
gonna
like-
pull. So you're just gonna pull that flask from underneath your bodysuit.
Yeah,
Drink.
They
Okay.
go.
Phew!
They
What?
always have the hip flask with them at all times.
Sounds
yeah,
good.
yeah. I got that. Like, whew, right on, buddy. Good job.
Eventually, it's going to save your life when it takes a bullet for you, but you'll be sad.
Nice devil's bargain option later. Brandon, Brandon, what about you on that helm check for me?
So first of all, I assume this is well, so I don't understand on the speed. Is that simply for acceleration, or would
Speed
this
is-
be considered speed because
This
time
would
is a
be speed.
factor?
This would be speed.
All right, cool. So I have potency. I've got my fine Urbot, and so I think that is that I have 2 separate bonuses on the quality, right?
Right.
All right. I got a 5.
Okay. And I just realized, I apologize, I messed something up earlier, because your ability is literally potency, right? That's the power.
You have potency on all speed-related rolls. I have not been able to use this yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Potency
okay.
Is what potency is kind of what our fine items are giving us. It's
Yes.
more potent action because
Yes. And so
Yeah,
this
but I
is
thought
speed.
that was like that there were 3 ways. There's scale, there's potency, and then there's quality.
But you have to do it on specific. You have to do it on only speed related, not segment related, not time related. So, so yes, this qualifies. It's not for progress clock. And what was your roll?
5.
5. You got it powered on. You noticed though that you noticed that it's not quite ready. There needs the transwarp drive is not online. You guys would need to mess with it a bit. But you can get it out of the bay at this point. But you are not going to get very far right now because the engines aren't fully online.
Well, I will call that over communicators that we're going to need, our mechanics to do work on that.
And speaking of which, he calls it over comms, and the comms are beautiful. It's a sound of, it's clear, crisp, and any audiophile would be absolutely blissed out from listening to how clean these intercom systems are.
So I'm down there blissing out.
There you go. You're an audiophile. You're like, wow, these systems are amazing. The speakers and the encryption system they're using, it's clearly, 384-bit. It's awesome, awesome quality.
Plugging in my hacking rig and just uploading all of my angry chick rock.
And it starts blasting.
So, as we're getting lifted off, if we do a quick search of the ship, are there weapon systems available?
You can go and see about trying to check that. Would you like to go and basically take the co-pilot seat and run it while Brandon's trying to pilot you guys out?
If there ain't no just trigger I can pull, I don't know how to work all those cons.
Okay. What about you, Kevin?
I will hop in the co-pilot seat. I possess some helm.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and roll your helm. And I am going to then need Crystal to roll me some roll.
Well, I'll let our fancy pilot there roll his helm.
Is it just that the drive isn't online, or was it damaged?
Well, I guess you're going to have to take a look. So...
However, in the co-pilot seat, once Brandon's rolling, I will eat a stress to assist him.
Okay, sure.
This is co-pilot. Go all Chewbacca on this one.
2 3s.
Yeah, it was damaged. It was damaged somehow.
Fixed!
Oh.
I've got the special ability fixed.
Oh,
I
nice.
spend my special armor to immediately resist the consequences from machines breaking or being damaged.
Nice. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, it's damaged, and I just take a look at it, pull up, you know what? I'm going to say pull out a crowbar, wedge it in there, lock 2 pieces together, and then tie it off with a hairband.
Okay. And it works suddenly. Brandon, why don't you roll me that helm check to see if you guys can find weaponry to come online?
Oh, and on those fine comms, I call up, don't take no hard lefts.
Nice.
Okay, I got a 6 on weaponry, Alice, with
nice.
the assist that I got from Kevin.
Okay, yeah, you two find weapon systems, and they have not been tested, but they are installed. And at this point, you guys are out of the bay. She calls out that it's fixed with the wrench and the hairbands. And there's pew, 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 and weapon systems are coming online to shoot at you guys from the station. It is starting to become kind of scary as you guys are dodging. You might even have to make a hard left soon if you don't get the frick out of here.
Yeah, punch it.
What did I just say?
Punch it, Stonewall.
So I want to swing back by base 6 and tractor beam our ship.
Ooh, okay. You don't want to just get out of here. Ooh,
Good little shit.
Yep. Why
Oh,
don't you?
I think it's time for a flashback.
Yeah. Why don't you
Oh.
do a flashback, Kevin?
I was gonna say I was gonna invite Crystal into the flashback. That her and I, who I seem to help her with the maintenance, I don't know how much strikes you're gonna make us do, but we've rigged something in the ship that she can like boop, 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 and it follows us. Like it's got a homing thing.
That's a high stress flashback. I would say each of you has to take 2.
All right.
That puts me 1 away from being maxed, so I will take it.
I'm
I
clearly
am
doing my
maxed.
job. Ooh.
Well, I mean, I'm at 9. I think 1 more and I take a trauma.
Ooh. Okay. So at this point, you have the auto call trigger, and it'll come to you guys and meet you guys halfway, and it will slipstream into that transwarp drive when it opens that portal. It'll follow you into that slipstream.
Man, did we kick that little blue guy off our ship or not?
Nope. He's
Did
naked
not.
in a mason jar on your ship.
Along with some unconscious Marines, but
So, Brandon, why don't you roll me that last helm check to get your guys out of there, or unless you have something else you want to do as well. Picked up your ship.
No. So, all right. We are needing to get out of here fast. So I've got my 2 helm. I've got potency for speed. My fine Urbot is helping me. I'm going to exceed the specs on this to go ahead and damage a ship system to get a +1 die.
Okay. Damage a
I'll go
ship
with-
system. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll go with +1 effect, actually. So I have potency, I have fine, and I have +1 effect. So even if I roll a 1, I'm getting a success, or how does that work? I don't understand.
Even if you're rolling a 1, you're gonna bump to the 4-5 category at this
even
point.
on a 1, you'll get it.
Yeah.
You'll get it. There'll still be unfortunate circumstance, perhaps.
Yeah. It's gonna be you bump
But
from
you
the
have to
1
be
to the
black.
3-4 category.
Yeah.
Just won't be a flawless success.
I've got a 5, and so
bumps
then that's benefiting from 3 different bumps: potency, quality, and then me just getting a +1 effect, right?
Yeah, so you're beautiful. You're good at this. You're super, super good at this. You open the slipstream. Ships are rallying, so they are getting fighter ships to come out and muster and start following you guys. Guns are shooting, lasers are shooting, and as you time their slipstream, your guys' ship, the Adamant Venture, follows you in, and just behind the Adamant Venture, you see a fighter come in, and half of the ship hits that slipstream before it closes, and it breaks into 2.
I'm gonna call dibs on the half we get.
Call dibs on the half you get, and you guys smooth sail back to Aketi.
Well, that was smoother than a snake's belly.
That was not so bad. You guys did pretty well. So as we close out with a big, we go to black, and then we will come back to a quick little montage and end montage of what each of your character does as you guys travel smoothly back to Aketi or land on Aketi. So, Jesse, we're going to start with you. What is your end montage for the story?
Well, folks, this was a nice adventure we went on. I think we did our jobs relatively well, aside from the 7 days we spent scuttling around acting like we were maintenance folks. I can't wait to get back to civilization where I can relax. How about you?
Okay. I actually, it's unfortunate because I had a moment that I almost got to bring in you guys as negative guys, but you guys rolled too well. You guys rolled a little too well, so I didn't end up calling the audible. But so the bounty hunter didn't show up, but I had fun.
Oh.
Yep. So, Crystal, what about you? What's your end montage?
Oh, I'm gonna say you see the engine room back on the Adamant Venture, and Jewel is just swaggering in there with a beat up cardboard box under one arm, and she opens it up, and it must be those neo silicate oscillators, and she just like ting 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 tosses out the old ones, and with this real big smile on her face starts screwing those into the Adamant Venture.
Okay. Kevin, what
Like
about
this
you?
this spare part nobody gives a damn about except her.
That's
It was back-
beautiful.
It was a seed, correct?
What, Kevin?
The planet Alcidi?
A Ketty.
Akedi, sorry, Akedi. It would be back on Akedi would be an example of what would happen in downtime. So you'll see Kane, he wanders into the worst dive in the place. He buys himself a drink. He finishes his drink, finds the other biggest gar in the bar, just turns and smashes the beer bottle in the side of his head. And then all heck breaks loose. And the last scene is that him and the other guy completely unconscious, like lying on the ground with the beer bottles beside each other. And at this point, we're probably friends.
Awesome. Okay, and Brandon, what is your end montage?
For me, it is after we hit transwarp. I put my feet up on the stick. I'm just kind of snoozing, and I tell my droid to wake me up if anything important's happening.
Okay. And for the
And you've
Or
just
if
followed
anybody
the
starts coming, because I don't want them to see me asleep.
and to
and
leave.
you're just
Oh, go ahead, Crystal.
I was gonna say you're just asleep there with like half a snack cake still half in its wrapper hanging out of your mouth.
He's so adorable.
Before leaving the ship, Jethro just like pulls out one last stack cake that he's hidden away the whole time and just like puts it in his mouth as he sleeps. Wonders.
I sleep eat.
And I'm going to say, with my last montage for this, for you guys, if we ever get to pick this up, you guys are gifted the right to use the ship for certain ventures or certain missions for the syndicate now. And in your next opening scene, you guys are flying through the sky, flying through space with the Alabast chasing you, and with the Alabast chasing you, trying to hunt you down for something. That's what we're gonna close it.
Cool. Very cool.
Right?
So, at this point is where we traditionally on BWK give feedback on what they think of the game and the system and the experience they had. I hope I did okay because this is my first time running this game. I've only played a sister game. So I was reading this and depending on my sister game experience. So, we'll go in reverse this time. So let's go with Brandon first.
Alice, fantastic time as always. I had an enjoyable time. By all means, the group played up the humor, which is totally expected with a team up like this. System, I see what to do with it. I definitely think that it's got fiddly bits that I am not sure about on how to interact with them. But I generally like something a little crunchier, but I think that it's totally playable and works really well, I think, for, one-shots or just a few games that you're planning on doing. So,
Cool. And Kevin, you are next.
I had a great time hanging with you guys as always. You did a fantastic job, Alice. Your first time with running Forged in the Dark. I'm actually very fond of the system. I myself, I've got a Blades in the Dark campaign that's been going on for a year. We're on a brief hiatus right now, but it's a neat. It does add some rules. It's got some fiddly bits. It's less crutchy, but when you start getting into the downtime and the jobs, it really does play. This, like, be it on a spaceship or there in a gang, it does a really good job of mirroring that we're a group of people in criminal enterprise and playing through how not just your characters, but the whole gang will evolve as you play through the story.
Crystal, what about you?
I had a great time. I feel like we were all more or less on the same page as far as tone went, and that was just, well, that was a hoot and holler.
Cool.
The system, it's really hard to get to a base level of competence in anything you don't have a skill dot in, and you get so few skill dots to start out. So that's a little frustrating, and you don't have a lot of stress to burn to give yourself extra bumps.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when fixed came up and I got to use my special ability, that felt so good.
Awesome. Yeah, I tried to make sure to keep your guys' powers and such in mind so that I gave you guys different opportunities to shine. I had my screen full of your guys' stuff, which is pretty cool. And anything else, Crystal?
Uh,
Okay.
I mean, I've noticed the gameplay is much simpler than the book makes it sound. The book is kind of indecipherable.
We're just using for the books are hot messes.
Yeah.
But
Alice was talking about that with me for a while, and so I went looking at a few things, and I'm like, oh yeah, I see exactly what you mean.
Jesse, what about you? What's your
Yeah, so being new to this, like I tried reading through the rules, they did seem like really confusing. Like you would need to actually play it through and figure it out. But I see this as a really like it would be a really good like storytelling, a shared experience that really puts the players first, and the GM is sort of there. The person running the story, it really has to be very flexible and non-combative. It's more about creating different scenarios, even in a failure. So it was really interesting. I'd be interested in seeing more of how the system works out because we haven't had a time in this session to explore the other aspects of this game.
uh from my part, like I said, I've played one of the sister games of systems of this one. I definitely feel that there are a few things when it comes to Blades in the Dark, Forged in the Dark systems that need to be kept in mind. One is you need your table to be on the same page. I have had incidents in other tables with sister systems because of the stylistic choices that offended some people at the table with certain actions. And also, reading, so roughly the first 150 pages will be mostly the same throughout the different sister systems, and then you with some changes, because sometimes they'll move a chapter, but there's going to be about 150 pages that are going to be basically the same, and then there's going to be about 60 to 100 pages of different stuff. And it definitely reads a lot harder than it plays, because I played it before I read it, and it was very much just roll these dice, and it was very quick to pick up. And then I went to read it, and I was like, why does it spend 5 pages on something that could have done in 2 sentences? I'm a little confused after reading 5 pages, because luckily I played the 2-sentence version. So I luckily felt a little more competent because I got to play it before I got to read it. It was a big relief for me. For me, I think that I had a blast. I try to, it's something that I enjoy doing when engaging people, getting them to give me bits to play with and asking questions. So I had a really good time with this group, and I'm really glad we were all on the same page. So thank you all for watching.
Hey Blades! Thank you so much for watching another Babies with Knives video. If you liked what you saw, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Go follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and come join the conversation in our Discord server.
If you want to keep content like this coming, come check out our Patreon and consider subscribing. All links for this is provided in the description below. And remember, come back next time to get honed!